Stadium in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Aggie Vision proudly presents New Mexico State Aggie football. Tonight, the Aggies play host to the Georgia Southern Eagles. Tonight's game sponsored by New Mexico's agricultural community. Take a look at the Sun Belt standings as we enter what's a pretty big game for both of these teams. Georgia Southern having lost their last three, and New Mexico State coming off a loss last week at Idaho. Everybody looking up at Troy and Appalachian State and Arkansas State. Welcome to Aggie Memorial Stadium. I'm Jeff Symbieta, along with former Aggie great Danny Nee. It's a big one for these two teams tonight. Georgia Southern playing the final of 4 straight games away from home. They've lost all 3. The Aggies come home after a really, really tough outing last week in Idaho and trying to show that wasn't the team that they believe they are.
Yeah, I think both teams have a little something to prove tonight, which should make tonight's game very interesting. Both teams are very good, so I'm looking for a very tough competition tonight.
Well, for the Aggies, they score a lot of points, but the key to what they do is Larry Rose III. The running back missed the first 3 games of the season, coming back from a sports hernia surgery.
Yeah, they need to get Larry Rose going. The All-American junior from Fairfield, Texas, has 2 back-to-back seasons of rushing for more than 1,000 yards. A sports hernia slowed him, like you talked about, but they need him back. He's still a big threat. Only 54 yards rushing last week, 17 receiving. They got to get him going.
Georgia Southern runs the ball as well as anybody in the country. Certainly statistically, it bears that out. Matt Breida is a really, really special back.
This senior has posted some big numbers. The Brookfield, Florida running back has run for more than 3,000 yards in his career. He has 14 games of rushing more than 100 yards. Last year, he scored 17 times. He's the guy they're going to go to tonight.
They're going to run the ball and run it a lot. We'll tell you about an injury at quarterback that's going to keep one of Georgia Southern's quarterbacks out when we come back to kick this thing off. I think both of these teams are going to score a lot of points. This should be, Danny, something pretty exciting here on Tough Enough to Wear Pink night.
It's a tough enough to wear pink, and it's going to be a tough enough game down there on the field. I'm really looking for a battle. It's a big one.
It's Georgia Southern, and it is New Mexico State. It's a big Sun Belt battle, and it's about ready to kick off here in Las Cruces. Kickoff's next on Aggie Vision.
And here we
Cruces on Tough Enough to Wear Pink night. The breast cancer awareness event that New Mexico State has done for a long time, and so many schools and pro teams are doing around the country. New Mexico State getting set to host the Georgia Southern Eagles. Take a look at the weather, and it really should not be a factor tonight, as it is a beautiful, beautiful autumnal evening here in Las Cruces. You take a look as the sun's getting ready to go down. Danny, the flags are blowing straight down, so I don't think that wind's going to be an issue. 2 miles an hour, 81 degrees. We'll get ready to kick off here in Las Cruces.
It's a beautiful day in Las Cruces, and so it'll be a great night for football. You're right.
All right, Danny Nee's keys to this game, and a game that is so important to both of these teams as they both still have postseason aspirations, and I know they both look at this one as being really, really pivotal.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And after last week for the Aggies coming back, it's like, well, what do we do from here? There you see the coin toss there. It's a great shot. There's Larry Rose, third. We talked about Larry Rose, third in the open. What a fantastic running back. He needs to get engaged here.
So Georgia Southern won the toss, and it looks like they are going to take the football first, and so they will have the ball first. All right, here's some keys, Danny, and I'll give you one that we found out once we got to the stadium. One of the 2 quarterbacks that Georgia Southern uses, they share. Both Fabian Upshaw and Kevin Ellison share the snaps. Upshaw will not play tonight. He's got a back injury. He took a knee to the lower back last week in the game against Georgia Tech. They were hoping he was going to be able to go. He will not play tonight, so you're probably going to see Georgia Southern fans for the first time a freshman named Seth Schumann. So we'll watch how that plays out and what they decide to do with him. From what I'm told, he's a different kind of a quarterback than Ellison and Upshaw. But when you get into a rhythm and you've got your quarterbacks, we'll see how that affects them as we get into now the 7th game of the season for them.
Yeah, I think the duo, since the duo's not there anymore, you just have the single. So if Allison, something should happen to him, then you have to have someone else to go to. It would just be nice to see how that plays out. You know, and the keys and the things we've got to think about, it's back to the basics. You got to win those lineman scrimmages on both sides of the ball, Jeff. So last week, not so much, but this week, the parts are there, the pieces are there. Let's put it back together and get back to the basics on the line of scrimmage. The run, we talked about the run. new guy coming in at quarterback potentially, but they have a host of running backs. You have to stop the run, and I'm going to go on the limb here and say you got to put 40 points up tonight.
You think it's 40 is what it's going to take?
I do. I think the defense is going to, give up a little bit, and you just got to keep pushing on offense.
Parker Davidson to kick off for New Mexico State. Malik Henry, L.A. Ramsey back to receive for the Eagles. It's Ramsey. Actually, it is Henry who watches it go through the end zone. And Georgia Southern will start out with a touchback and take it at the 25-yard line. They will run the football. They will run it a lot. In fact, in the last 2 years, they put up ridiculous numbers. 908 yards in the 2 games that Georgia Southern has played against New Mexico State. Both wins for the Eagles. They've only completed 7 passes, Danny, in those 2 games. So I don't think it's any secret about what they're going to do.
Yeah, and if you're the coach, it's like, well, why throw the ball, right? If I can run the ball, I don't need to throw the ball. So certainly it's going to be stop the run.
Kevin Ellison is the quarterback. We featured his very, very good running back, Matt Breida. In the open, Breida is set behind him in the shotgun, and we're about ready to get underway. Ellison takes the snap, gives it to Breida off the right side, around Stody Bradley. Back to the line of scrimmage. He's met there by Jacob Nwanga. They may give him a yard. It'll be second down and long. You'll see a lot of Breida.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of Breida. You're going to see a lot of all different styles of running. This time they're going to try to get out around the end here, and I think you're going to see Aggies flying to the ball, which I think is important from a defensive perspective.
Second down 11, they call it a loss. It's the option the far side, and that is Rodney Butler, who is there to make a play, wrapping up Ellison for a loss of 3. Butler leading the nation in tackles.
And you kind of see why here. They teach linebackers to go downhill, downfield to make a play. You see 2 guys in the backfield, but you see Butler there, right there, wrapping it up and making the tackle, and that's why he leads the nation in tackles right there.
So let's see what they decide to do. Monte Crockett is the wide receiver far out to the right. He's got 4 receivers spread out. Ellison to throw. He has time. He lobs it, and it is caught. It should be enough for a first down. Keegan Williams, just his 2nd catch of the season, as the referees decide if he was in bounds. He was not in bounds. They're going to rule him out of bounds, and it'll be 4th down. And the Eagles are going to have to punt.
Well, so I saw this as it was breaking, and I didn't think it was in bounds, but I was looking for another shot there. But that was a good pass right there. That was very close from the Aggies' perspective. Look at the number of Aggies in the backfield. You still have to get to the quarterback. Last week, they did not get to the quarterback. They got to get to the quarterback this week.
So Keegan Williams ruled out of bounds on what would have been his 2nd reception of the season. Teron Taylor, Greg Hogan go back to receive the punt for New Mexico State. Matt Flynn is on, and a little delay. I got to believe Georgia Southern sideline is saying, let's take a look at this thing.
Yeah, I think Coach Summers was over there saying, I'm not so sure.
Tyson Summers, their head coach. He's in his 1st year at Georgia State. There he is at 3-3, and they're going to take a look at it. Take a look at it here. Did that right foot get down, Danny? I think it might have.
It's kind of hard to tell from that perspective. We may have to get another look there. I kind of like the Aggies flying to the football.
It's a pretty good throw by Ellison, who doesn't throw it a ton.
One.
Yeah, he does, however, complete 63.2% of his passing. Now, he doesn't throw it a lot, but when he does, he's been pretty accurate. Williams, the senior, looked like he might have got that right foot down, so they're going to go take a look at this. Take a look at it. This isn't the angle, I don't think, that's going to show you, because you can't see his left foot. Jeff Hillier is our referee today. He's the guy wearing the white hat. There's Doug Martin.
Williams, last week, he had 1 catch for 25 yards, so not many times that they're throwing the ball, but some of these plays when they get 25 yards, that's part of the key. That's DeMarcus Owens there for a big sky. He almost got his hand on it.
Is that left foot down? When he back it up just a touch, guys, if you can. Is that left foot down, or did he get the right foot down before that left foot hits? And it sure looks like he does right there. Doesn't it?
Oh, that's a great shot right there.
Yeah.
From that perspective right there, it looks like he's in.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a completion. And then they got to figure out exactly where to mark it. It was enough. It was out near the 40-yard line. I want to say it was about the 39. They needed to get to the 35 for a first down.
Hey, how about that camera shot of the guys? The
no,
crew,
great job, guys. No, it's a terrific job. Terrific job. Tough enough to wear pink here in Las Cruces, so you'll see a lot of pink accents on the Aggies tonight. You'll see Pistol Pete's image in the middle of the field. He's got pink sleeves on, a big halftime show. The cheer squad wearing pink and most of the crowd wearing pink. It's a big deal here in Las Cruces. This is one of the first schools that did it. They do it incredibly well. They've raised a lot of money over the years for breast cancer awareness, and they're going to continue to do it.
So, Jeff, earlier they were showing Coach Spaziani, and after last week, I was wondering how Coach Spaziani would come back out and what he would get his defense to do. And I thought part of what he needed to do is take a few chances. So you can play it safe, but you usually play it safe when you're a team that's strong and big, and right, you can afford the playing it safe attitude. But from an Aggie perspective, I think they need to take a couple chances, and I do see a lot of more twists and things going on up front early on, but they're still flying around to the football.
Well, they're still taking a look at it, and so the Aggie offense warms up on the sidelines, just tries to get loose. That was Isaiah Lottie you saw riding the bike. The length of time, Danny, makes me think that they're going to overturn this, and they're trying to figure out where to put the clock and where to put the ball. And I think this shot right there shows you I think it's the right call if they do overturn it. Let's hear what he's got to say.
The ruling on the field was incorrect. It was a completed forward pass. The ball was awarded to Georgia Southern, 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
43-yard line is where it's going to go.
And they have one challenge remaining in the game.
All right, that's your referee, Jeff Hillier. So a big conversion on their first 3rd down for Georgia Southern. They keep the ball and keep their drive alive.
That was a nice pass by Allison.
So Allison back behind center in the shotgun. Breida is the back. He gives it to Breida up the middle, who finds a hole, cross midfield, out to about the 49-yard line, a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Eagles. Good job by that big offensive line that they've got. They go quickly, no huddle. Ellison barking out signals now, making a call. Directed traffic. They run the option. Far side, Ellison keeps it. Ellison's loose into the secondary. Brought down by Jaden Wright, but not before he gets plenty for a 1st down, Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern looks like they're going to keep with the tempo here. The option, it's a different style than they have faced last week in Idaho. An option is more of an assignment defense. They got to find their guy and just hone in on him.
1st down, Eagles. Breida bounces off tackles and then is brought down from behind. Cortland Busby is the guy who chased him down from behind. A gain of 2 for Matt Breida on 1st down, so it'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that's nice of Busby being able to get jammed up in the line and go down the line of scrimmage to hold on and turn that into a nothing game.
Breida stays in. Ellison gives it to Breida again, right up the middle, and he's corralled there. Noah Brown was one of the first guys to get at him. Picks up another couple, maybe 3. Call it 3rd down and 5. Ball's going to be at the 36. They need the 31 for a 1st down.
Yeah, that D-line is doing a great job right now. They're getting a little few yards in there, but the D-line isn't backing up. So you see a lot of times where if a defensive lineman stands up, they call it getting put on his roller skates and he goes backwards. But they're creating the piles up front, and that's what they need to do to stop that.
Wesley Fields is the back in now with Ellison, who's going to throw. Time over the middle, caught. Plenty for a 1st down. Caught by B.J. Johnson. The ball's loose at the end. The Aggies have it, but the ruling is down by contact. B.J. Johnson, their leading receiver, was wide open in the middle of the Aggie secondary.
Part of what the Aggies need to do, we talked about getting to the quarterback. Here's the end of the play right there that you see, and I think they did rule that he was down, but they were stripping it, and that's what you need to do. Going quick tempo.
1st down, Eagles at the 18. That's Fields' first carry of the day. Fields is loose, running over guys down to the 5-yard line where he is finally dragged down by DeMarcus Owens. That's going to be good enough for 13 yards and a 1st down for the Eagles. 1st down, goal at the 5 for Georgia Southern, knocking on the door. Fields stays in. He's with Ellison. I think the left tackle may have moved a little bit, and they'll back him up a little bit. Let's see.
75 offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Curtis Rainey, the right guard. Big They got some size on that line now.
Yeah, they got some big guys up front there. And there you see the little move.
Number 75 was the right guard who moved, so it'll still be first and goal. They'll just back him out to the 10-yard line. Wesley Fields stays in with Ellison. Fields has it off the right side, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. He picks up 5, so it'll be second and goal from the 5.
You know, they're getting some penetration, Jeff. We saw off the left line they are getting into the backfield, but they can't get down the line of scrimmage and stop him before he breaks the line of scrimmage and gets those few precious yards.
Ball's high. Ellison's got to corral it, now tries to get away, but Dalton Harrington is there to drag him down for a 5-yard loss. The snap was high. Good job by Ellison just to keep it from going over his head.
Yeah, Dalton, who didn't play last week, he's getting into the mix here, and they need him at linebacker to come in and help out here. He's come screaming in there, bobbled the pitch, but you have 3 or 4 Aggies in the backfield there.
All right, so it's third down and goal. They are at the 10-yard line. L.A. Ramsby checks into the backfield with Ellison. First time we've seen him in the backfield. Monte Crockett wide out to the left. Ellison on third down and goal. Option left. Pitch to Ramsby, who's run out of bounds. Nice play by Jacob Nwanga. A gain of about a yard, maybe 2. They'll mark it just outside of the 8. It looks like a field goal time, and here comes Younghoe Koo. That's a pretty big stand for Mexico State.
That's an awesome stand right there. So they got a couple of big plays in there, but right at the end when they needed to dig their heels in, they did. On that option, they just strung that option out all the way to the sidelines and gave them nothing.
Koo is perfect on the year. 10 of 10 field goals, 14 of 14 point afters. This will be from just outside 25 yards, a little chip shot for Koo. And it is good. So Georgia Southern draws first blood. A 25-yard field goal by Younghoe Koo, and it is 3-0 Georgia Southern. Aggies will get the ball for the first time when we come back. 9:43 to go, first quarter. Eagles over the Aggies, 3-0. On his pink shirt, the picture we just showed you. It's a perfect evening here in southern New Mexico in Las Cruces, where Georgia Southern has taken a 3-0 lead on New Mexico State. They will now kick it away. Kevin Bass is going to get set to kick it for, or Tyler Bass, pardon me. Tyler Bass getting set to kick it for the Eagles, and the Aggies will see what they can do when they get their hands on the football. It'll be Hogan back to receive for New Mexico State, along with, looks like Billy Knipp back there. Is that right? That's a little bit of a change up now. See what they decide to do with it and what the Aggies can do with it. Pretty good stand for New Mexico State, Danny. The Eagles had the ball at the 5-yard line as the kick goes out of bounds.
Wow,
a big break for New Mexico
right
State.
there. Yeah, that was a I would call that a success, right? So after some of the things that happened in Idaho, you always want to get back to the field as fast as possible to prove that, you know what, things can go good for us, and that wasn't too bad. They scored, yes, but they dug their heels in when they needed it and had a great stand.
All right, so a few more yards will be tacked on as well. So the Aggies are going to have great starting field position. 35-yard line is where they're going to set up shop for the first time. As you take a look at Tyson Summers, the first-year head coach at Georgia Southern, doing a terrific job with a wonderful program that they've got down there. Larry Rose III is the quarterback. Tyler Rogers is your quarterback. Larry's your running back. He takes the pitch and struggles to get a few yards on first down. Give him about 3-4 yards on that. 3 yards is where it's going to be. Second down, 7. Sean Freeman makes the tackle. Freeman starting at the safety position. R.J. Murray injured. He's out tonight. He's got a knee injury. Pass is almost intercepted. Nice play across the middle by that aforementioned number 24, wow. Sean Freeman.
Wow, that was a close one right there. You know, he wasn't open, and I'm not sure why he was trying to thread that in there, because it would have had to been an absolute perfect pass.
Well, he threw into double coverage.
Oh yeah, but nice blocking up front too by the offensive lineman. They had a lot of time to throw that thing.
3rd and 7 for the Aggies. They need the 45-yard line for a first down. Tyler's got time, flips it short, and it's going to be short of a first down. Pass is complete to Larry Rose III, but they only get 4 yards out of it, maybe just 2. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. And New Mexico State, I got to believe, has got a punt, and they certainly do.
We got a player down for Georgia Southern.
Peyton Theisler will come on to kick. The injured Georgia Southern Eagle, and that's a big one for them, is Ukemi Iligwe, who's their second leading tackler. He's the guy that's slow coming off the field. He's walking under his own accord, and now he's trotting under his own accord, so Eagle fans got to feel a lot better. Now he's actually, that's almost a run.
Yeah.
That's almost a run, so he looks like he's okay. So that's big for them. Back to receive for Georgia Southern is Monte Crockett. Peyton Theisler is the punter. It's a wobbler. Crockett decides not to field it on a hop and let it roll. Probably a good decision. It rolls inside the 20 and keeps going for New Mexico State. And they're down at about the 18-yard line. That's where the Eagles now will set up shop. So that's a great defensive stand for Georgia Southern.
Man, you know, how fast was that? You know, no rhythm.
Yeah, no rhythm at all for New Mexico State. So the Eagles will have the ball with the lead at the 18-yard line when we come back. There's 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter in Las Cruces. Georgia Southern leads New Mexico State 3-0 here on Aggie Vision. Beautiful Las Cruces, New Mexico. Georgia Southern leads New Mexico State 3-0. New Mexico State Athletics would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, New Mexico's agricultural community, for their support of Aggie Athletics. Eagles setting up shop at the 18-yard line. Their first drive ended in a 25-yard field goal by Young Wei Koo. They've got it back, and their first drive, Danny, was kept alive after a reversal on replay.
Yeah, that one big play really was the key for them, but it was a long, sustained drive. That was a nice drive by Georgia Southern.
Kevin Ellison was 2 for 2 throwing the ball on that. He's the quarterback and running the option with Burrito along with him. He's going to keep it, and he's got some room. Ellison is loose across the 40. Kevin Ellison has got a lot of room in front of him. One man to beat, and he gets a block. Ellison pushed out of bounds and dragged down, actually, at the 25-yard line. I thought he was going to push him out of bounds, but that's a big bust for Kevin Ellison, and these guys have big chunk plays quite a bit.
So when you look at the replay on assignment, there's coach saying we're going to hurry up, we're going to go quick, but look quickly, you'll see everyone has a signed player. See, there's a linebacker at the bottom of the screen that over pursued and got pushed out of it, and that was his guy.
Burrito takes it on first at the 25-yard line, goes left side and gets himself 4 yards down to the 21-yard line. Second down, 58 yards on the run by Kevin Ellison.
Yeah, you know, the Aggies have been really good at stopping those dives, but when you get to those options, those big plays, those are the ones you got to shut down.
Burrito stays in with him. Second down, 6 for the Eagles. They run the option near side. Ellison cuts it in and is dragged down. Got himself about a yard. Cedric Wilcox was the Aggie who got him up high and dragged him down. So here's another third down play. 3rd and 5 for Georgia Southern. They've got a 3-0 lead. Crockett wide left. Johnson wide to the right for Ellison. He keeps it, throws into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Jaden Wright. 3rd interception of the year for the junior from Louisville, Texas. And the Aggies have turned the Eagles away in the end zone.
Do you see Jaden go over there telling me, hey, Mr. Fishel, I wasn't celebrating, just so you know. That was a nice pick. You know, Jaden Wright, we hadn't called much his name this year. Here's double coverage. He throws into double coverage. Jaden goes to make a play. The captain steps up and makes a great stop. That's what the Aggies need to really make a stand to get a turnover, and Jaden, that was a great job right there.
If you remember last week, the Aggies had another interception in the end zone to stop a drive at Idaho. That was on the first possession for Idaho, and it was a big one by Jared Phipps. This time, it's Jaden Wright. So the Aggies have it at the 20-yard line, trailing by a score of 3-0. Tyler keeps it and gets himself a yard. Looked like he wanted to pitch it to Rose initially.
I'm not sure if that was just trying to use Rose as a decoy maybe, because he didn't really make it a full-fledged want to pitch it all the thing, but he just kind of kept it there.
Gain of 1 for Rogers. 2nd down and 9 for New Mexico State as we tick under 7 minutes now here in the first quarter. Tyler keeps. Flag down, complete. Hogan makes the catch. Looks like it's going to be about a yard short, maybe a touch short if it stands, but the flag is where you would expect holding.
Number 7, Greg Hogan.
Joshua Moon on the tackle for Georgia Southern. Let's see what they've got now and what they want to do with this. Looks like it's going to be New Mexico against New Mexico State as they back him up.
58 offense, penalties 10 yards, repeat second down.
Desmond Candelaria, the junior left guard, is the guilty party on that. They misspelled his name on the back. It says Candelari. See that? It's the back of his shirt?
I did.
They misspelled his name.
Maybe they continued on the front, right?
Don't tell anyone. 2nd and 19 now for the Yankees. Rogers rolls the pocket a little bit, now steps up and throws over the middle. It is complete. He finds Cameron Luce, the backup tight end, for a gain of about 14 yards to the 25, which makes third down manageable. The freshman out of Vancouver, Washington, makes the catch.
I like to see it. You know, before the game, Jeff, we talked about how tight ends, I think, are an important part of the game. And I wish we'd get more of the tight end play into it because it's very tough on a linebacker to cover a tight end.
Aggies need the 30 for a first down. Tyler rolls the pocket again. Looking to throw back. Instead, he throws over the middle, and it is complete. First down, New Mexico State, Teron Taylor.
How about that? Now, that was a great throw and a catch there into coverage. That could have been a disaster right there, but he pulls it down, and he makes the catch that he should. So there's Tyler rolling the pocket a bit and leads him in front there. How he got the ball through the hands of that. Let's see if it went right through the defender's hands as it went up.
Tyler rolls the pocket left this time. Now he has time, and he's flushed. Looking over the middle, it is short. He had a man open. It was Taylor who was open again, and he short hopped it to him. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Danny, they're rolling the pocket. So the Aggies offensive coaching staff see something that they think there's going to be a lot of pressure coming out, and they're rolling the pocket to get Tyler some more time?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where Tyler does his best when he's not standing right in the middle of the pocket, just standing still.
2nd and 10. They give to Larry Rose off the left side. Larry trying to get the corner, and he does. Rose turns the corner out to about the 47-yard line. He's going to be 4 yards short of the first down, sets up 3rd and 6 for New Mexico State, and a little bit of a burst by Larry.
You need play action, and New Mexico State offense is built on play action, and part of play action is you have to establish some type of run to make the linebackers play it honest. And when you have a running back like Larry Rose who can scoot and get the corner that quick, that's fantastic, and you need that play action.
So you make it 3rd and manageable. Aggies need to get just across the 50 to the 49 of Georgia Southern. Coming up on 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Rogers wants to throw. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to get dragged down. Dragged down for a gain of about I call it a yard. Davius Roper is there, the redshirt junior defensive tackle for Georgia Southern. So the Aggies gain a yard. They needed 4, and they're going to have to kick it away again.
Yeah, and there's nowhere to go. I think everyone was completely covered in coverage. I think there was 3 guys out, and there was just nowhere to go with the ball, and he just kind of had to eat that thing there. So that's kind of a coverage, not a sack. But Tyler did a good job of not throwing it into the coverage he shouldn't.
Darius Roper made the play for Georgia Southern. Monte Crockett back to field the punt. He calls a fair catch at the 20-yard line and corrals it. And that's where Georgia Southern's Eagles will go to work when we come back. A 33-yard punt, no return. Georgia Southern will have the ball when we return. 4:20 to go, first quarter in Las Cruces. The Eagles over the Aggies by a score of 3-0 on Aggie Vision. Southern's Eagles 3-0 here in Las Cruces. I told you as we started up tonight, Fabian Upshaw, one of the quarterbacks that Georgia Southern uses, is not playing tonight. He's got a back injury, and so you are now seeing for the first time Seth Schumann wearing number 10. And they're ripping off the red shirt tonight on Seth Schumann, a 6'1", 195-pound freshman who's a heck of an athlete from Valdosta. He is in. Wesley Fields is the back. Let's see what they do with him. They give it to Fields, who gets himself up the middle and keeps those legs turning, and he gets himself about 6 yards before he's finally dragged down by Roy Lopez. 6-7 yards. You get 6-7 yards of carry. It's going to make it a lot easier on a freshman quarterback.
It is, especially when you can hand the ball off and you get behind some of those big, huge offensive linemen for Georgia Southern.
Schumann an incredible athlete. He's a baseball player as well. They're hoping he plays baseball at Georgia Southern. He was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, Danny, in the Major League Draft in the 39th round. Decided to go to college and play football and baseball. He gives it off to Fields, who's got himself a first down. Terrell Hanks got him by the ankles. Yep. But not before he got the 4 yards he needed.
And I see Coach Spaziani is kind of mixing it up again. We had Jaden Wright, as you see right there, came in from the top of the screen as well, from the outside along to help Terrell Hanks. So he's bringing some of those guys from the secondary in there to shore up that run. And I think that's what you need to do. You need to find some way to hold your ground and stop the run.
Going to be interesting to see what the Eagles do. Now, I mean, their philosophy is they run the ball, but everything I've been told is Schumann's a different kind of quarterback, and he can sling it. We'll see if they let him do that. You don't need to when you're getting chunks every time you give the ball to number 21. That's Fields again for another 4 yards on first down up the middle. Fields gets out to the 35-yard line, second down and 6.
You know, getting some hard yards in there, but that's what they do. They'll just kind of pour it in there and keep pounding it and pounding it away, and then when you bring everyone in to stop the run, they'll dump that little pass.
Second down, 6 for the Eagles now. Seth Schumann is the quarterback. Wesley Fields is with him. Schumann's going to make his first collegiate pass. He's going to throw it deep out to the far side and complete it to B.J. Johnson. That looked pretty nice. They said he can sling it. He sure can.
That was a long throw right there. So the Aggies were kind of playing off there. And I don't know if they were playing off him a little bit because they didn't think he could make a throw all the way across the field. But, boy, he brought that thing, didn't he?
From outside the right hash all the way outside the left numbers. And it's a long throw. I don't know if people appreciate how long it is, but that's another nice play by them and a first down. Fields stays in as the back. Schumann's going to throw again. He's like, I kind of like this. Dumps it short, trying to get it to Fields. This is a safety valve.
You know, we talked about pressure on the defensive line, and there we saw Stoddy Bradley actually bring that pressure and make him throw the ball a little faster, a little sooner than he wanted. Get to the quarterback hurry stat there. Stoddy did a great job.
Second down and 10 now for the Georgia Southern Eagles. They're at their own 48, leading 3-0, coming up on 2:20 to go, first quarter. Fields again, big hole up the middle. Fields gets himself 7 yards all the way to the 45-yard line, sets up a manageable third down for the freshman quarterback. Yep. Terrell Hanks on the tackle.
Well, Terrell Hanks comes screaming up in a hurry, but, you know, he gets through that first level so quick.
Fields, first down and a whole lot more. Still on his feet to the 30-yard line. Finally dragged down there. But another big run for Wesley Fields. Fields has scored 5 touchdowns this year, 3 on the ground, 2 receiving the ball.
Man, they have him, Jeff lifts it at 6 foot 195, but he is running bigger than that.
Big sophomore back. They run the ball really well. They got a first down. Ramsby's in. Schumann throws it to Ramsby in the flat, and LA is dragged down after he loses, well, let's say he loses a yard. Trey Wilcoxon in on the tackle for New Mexico State. Loss of 1 will be second down and 11. Pretty smooth-looking quarterback. He doesn't look like he's nervous, making his college debut. Seth Schumann, Valdosta, Georgia. Throwing again. Time, throws, wide open receiver on the near side, pushed out of bounds at the 9-yard line. That is Mike Jackson. Jackson that's freshman to freshman right there, Danny. Yeah. Freshman to freshman.
That's a great pass right there, but Coach Spaziani's bringing some pressure, and it's really making it hard on this defense. And here they go, a little up-tempo, keep it rolling.
First down and goal at the 8 for the Georgia Southern Eagles. We're under a minute to go, first quarter. They got a 3-0 lead. L.A. Ramsby runs into Noah Brown, takes him for a ride for about 2 yards to the 6. That's where it'll be second down and goal for the Eagles.
See if the Aggies can really dig their heels in one more time and hold them out of there and hold it to a field goal or something.
The Eagles have been down here. This is the 3rd time. First time they got a field goal. Second time the Aggies intercepted it in the end zone. It's been all Georgia Southern so far, but it's only 3-0. Ramsby. Johnson wide left, Crockett in the slot. The give is to L.A. Ramsby. Battles his way down to the 5-yard line with Dalton Harrington laying on top of him. Sets up third down and goal for the Eagles And they're going to switch sides of the field because we have come to the end of the first quarter. And first quarter statistically dominated by the Georgia Southern Eagles. But the scoreboard says 3-0. We'll come back. Georgia Southern will have the ball. 3rd down and goal at the 5. They'll also have a 3-0 lead. Eagles over the Aggies, 3-0 here on Aggie Vision. Memorial Stadium, Georgia Southern leads New Mexico State as we get ready to start the second quarter, 3-0. Live aerial shots provided by New Mexico State University's Physical Science Laboratories FAA Unmanned UAS Flight Test Site in partnership with KRWG and Aggie Vision. That's pretty cool, Danny.
Yeah, that's a nice shot there by that UAS.
We got drones flying above us.
They do, keeping an eye on us here tonight.
All right, Georgia Southern outgained New Mexico State 209-42 in offense in the first half, or in the first quarter. We start the second quarter. It's 3rd down and goal. Eagles at the 5. Freshman Seth Schumann is the quarterback. L.A. Ramsby is the setback behind him. Schumann's looked good. And this is his first series as a collegiate quarterback as they rip the red shirt off him today. He's going to throw. He dumps it and incomplete. Looking for Ross Alexander, the tight end. There was some pressure coming off the edge, which forced him to get rid of it early and high.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that you were bringing everyone. You're not sitting back waiting for them to run and let's just see what happens. But there they take him out and they're going to go back and try to get 3 out of this thing. But that's not a bad stop. But what a job for the freshman coming in.
Yeah, the young man had a nice first drive, and it looks like they're going to get points out of it because Young Wei Koo has not missed yet this year. He's got a 22-yard attempt, which also is good, and so they get on the board with another field goal. Young Wei Koo from 22 yards. So you tell me how you feel, Danny. I mean, you're New Mexico State, and you've got outgained 209-42. They've had 3, has Georgia Southern, 3 drives into your red zone, but all they got is 6 points.
So first, this is very confusing to me, right? So we've watched all the Aggie games, and we see what happens. And so last week, the defense had a hard time stopping a lot of folks. This week, the defense has done quite well. Yes, they've been outgained, but they only got 6 points to show for it. But think about the offensive perspective, Jeff. We have no rhythm. There's nothing going yet, and part of that is we can't get any runs going. Do we even have a first down? I don't think we do on the offensive side. So I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, the one that they passed to Teron Taylor.
Okay, there's the one. So, but I'm a little surprised by the score, but the defense, what a job tonight.
Hogan and Boone back for New Mexico State to take the kickoff. Bass would kick off for Georgia Southern. And as expected, it's going to go through the end zone. The Aggies will start at the 25-yard line. The scoring drive for the Georgia Southern Eagles, 13 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Put that up on the young man's wall. Seth Schumann's first drive as a collegiate. And it was a pretty good one. He looked poised. I know they want to put it in the end zone, but they get points on it. You say, yep, I led him on a scoring drive on the road, my first ever collegiate appearance. So now the Aggies have it, trying to do something.
So now let's see if Tylen Rogers can get rolling here.
Larry Rose, the setback with Rogers, trying to get Larry started as well. They give it to him off the right side, trying to run, and he's got nowhere to go. He runs into Ryan George, the big 6'1" junior. A loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing on that offensive line. They're getting not much push, and so it's hard to get Rose rolling on that, and they need some type of running to get that play action going. But if it's not going, you just go right to the pass. I think you just give it up and throw it. Huck it, chuck it football.
You hate to abandon the run when you got a guy like Rose, but Tyler's back to throw this time. He's pressured. He throws it. It is back shoulder and not to Clayton Granch. They're going to the tight end, and I know you like that. A little bit behind Clayton Granch. He wasn't able to adjust to that.
I do. I like the tight end play. That's good matchups that you get. But what happens if you're not used to throwing to the tight end? They're throwing it to that back shoulder, like you said, and Granch just didn't turn around. But he's got to get around there and get his head around and help his quarterback out.
Empty backfield for Tyler Rogers on 3rd and 13. They need the 35-yard line to keep the football. Tyler throws, caught. Hogan, first down across the 40-yard line. out to the 43-yard line. A gain of 20 out to the 43, and the biggest play of the night for New Mexico State.
Hey, you gotta love it. So it starts with the blocking by the offensive line. So you got a deeper pass to throw there. There you see Hogan's route right there. Looks a little crisper on that, but there was lots of time for Tyler to throw that ball.
Xavier Hall is in for New Mexico State. Tyler fakes to him, and there's a flag down. We're going to back it up a little bit. Obviously, New Mexico State did not get set.
Snap infraction, 58 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Second penalty on the last 2 drives on Desmond Candelaria, the left guard. So it'll back it up to make it first down and 15, as Jeff Hilliard just told you. So, Danny, that's been a problem for New Mexico State. You get a big play and trying to get the momentum, and then something negative happens. And in this case, it's a dead ball infraction. Tyler's going to keep it. It looks like a designed play. He gets himself 6 back across the original line of scrimmage to the 44.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a design play all day long. So what they're doing is they're coming out and faking that option run there. And because Rose is so fast, they're over pursuing and just flying outside, leaving that inside lane that Tyler gets back and gets 5 or 6 yards on that.
Xavier Hall stays in. He's the back with Rogers. Fakes to Hall, rolls the pocket to the left and throws far side. It is caught for a first down. That is Boone on the reception. Christian Matthew defending for Georgia Southern. It'll be a first down, New Mexico State.
Yeah, I wasn't sure Boone was going to get around there, but look at the blocking up front there. So we have lots of protection in there, which helps start that play. And Boone comes around there and gets the ball and hangs on. That's a nice catch.
Rose back in for the Aggies, and he gets the handoff. Gets himself about 5. Nice run for Larry picking his hole, but he's very, very patient if you're seeing him for the first time. This time he keeps it around the right side, gets away from one defender, and he turns a loss into a gain, which is going to be a first down out to the 32-yard line. Looks like it's going to be just enough for a first down.
Did you see there? It looked like as he was coming back, there was a cutback lane that was open all the way across. I think that he was trying to get to that lane.
First down, 10, New Mexico State. By far their best drive of the night. They're at the 32. Larry Rose has some room. There's a flag down. Rose is loose at the 15, but is probably coming back. Finally dragged down by Jay Beaudry, but it looks like this whole thing's coming back. There's going to be another penalty on New Mexico State. Aggies have their hands on their hips as the gentlemen in the striped shirts are assembled, and we'll let Jeff Hilliard tell you what it is one more time. We've heard a lot from this young man, huh?
Personal foul, hands to the face, 92 defense.
Wow.
The penalty is half the distance of the goal. Automatic
Certainly
first
didn't
down.
see that coming.
Well, that's Jonathan Battle Jr., one of their big defensive tackles. See if you can find number 92 going to the face.
There he is right there in the
Yeah, it
middle.
almost looked like retaliation, but sometimes the second guy gets caught.
Yeah, you get in there, it's hard to say who starts it, who finishes it, but someone's always going to come out crying.
Big break for the Aggies. They got first down and goal at the 6-yard line. Xavier Hall is the setback. Tyler's going to throw if he has time to throw. Looking to the end zone, wide open for a touchdown. New Mexico State, O.J. Clark's first touchdown reception of the season. And the Aggies have drawn even at 6, a point after away from taking the lead.
The timing, again, I want to emphasize how much time that Tyler Rogers had back there to throw the ball. So it was like 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and the play is still going. Look at the time there, lots of time. He's patient, he steps up. O.J. Clark, I don't know who had him in the background. He went all the way to the back of the end zone, and he's all the way, no one near him within 10 yards.
That's one of those where you say just catch the ball, don't drop it. Parker Davidson missed the extra point again. Hit the right upright. He missed the extra point. He is now 15 of 19 on points after conversion, and we stay tied 6-6. So a good drive for New Mexico State that went 75 yards, Danny. 9 plays, 75 yards. 249, a couple of big plays on that. The completion to Boone, and obviously the touchdown to O.J. Clark. Doug Martin's just got to be sick about the kicking.
It's kind of hard to be, happy. That's like, well, look, we finally reached down there, got all the way down the field. It was tooth and nail to get in the end zone, and I miss an extra point. That's a tough one right there.
Same end of the building, of the facility, of the field, of the stadium that we had the late game problem back 2 weeks ago against Louisiana Lafayette. But the Aggies take the positive. They are even after statistically being dominated in the first quarter. Big drive by New Mexico State and Tyler Rogers. There's Coach Summers, and now his office is going to get a chance to get this thing back and see what they can do.
You know, Jeff, on both sides of the ball, I think the battle's going to be on the line of scrimmage. If the Aggies can hold that defensive line out, there's a lot that Tyler can do, but that's a great big defensive line, and the same thing for Georgia Southern has a big offensive line, so New Mexico State's D-line's got to stand up and hold their ground.
Malik Henry back to receive the kick. He takes it at the 2-yard line for Georgia Southern. He's out over the 20, spins off a tackle and is dragged down right at the 20-yard line, and that's where Georgia Southern will set up shop. Will Clement in on the tackle for New Mexico State on special teams. Danny, we had some problems with our graphics earlier, but let's take a look at the impact players when Georgia Southern's got the ball, and it's impactful because one of their quarterbacks, Fabian Upshaw, is not playing tonight.
Yes, we look at the impact players there. You see Fabian Upshaw, who's not playing tonight, and Seth Schumann. We saw him step in there and do a great job for a freshman. Allison, we saw some big offensive runs that he turned off already. Butler, leading tackler in the nation. Shmad Lomax, great last week. We need him to step up the secondary again.
Ellison back in at quarterback, and Ellison's loose again. Ellison is in a foot race, and he steps out of bounds at about the 50-yard line. So another big run for Kevin Ellison, the senior quarterback for Georgia Southern. On first down, he takes it 30 yards out to the 50.
Yeah, Ellison is having another big night, and it's part of this running behind those big guys. Here we come, just going to run just a keeper to the left there, and it's just man-on-man blocking, and they just open a big hole for him, take that corner, and just turn it into big yardage.
It's the fourth series that Ellison has been in. He's carried the ball 6 times for 90 yards. This time he gives it up to Brita, who gets stacked up and pushes the pile for 3 into Aggie territory to the 47-yard line. So 6 carries, 90 yards for Kevin Ellison. And that's after sitting out the one series where Schumann came in. Second down and 7 for the Eagles. Brita stays in as the running back along with the quarterback Ellison. Option far side. Ellison turns it up, gets himself a few, dragged down by Rodney Butler from Mexico State.
Yeah, I think Butler was in there. Dalton Harrington was in there. There's Dalton Harrington right there, who's really didn't play last week, but he's coming in there, stepping up, and he's doing a great job. You saw him read that option and just hold his ground and dive at the feet to wrap him up. That was a great tackle.
Third down 5 for the Eagles. They need the 40-yard line for the first. Brita stays in. Ellison to throw, and he is dropped. Sack for New Mexico State.
Wow.
And another big play by Cedric Wilcox, his first sack of the season, only the Aggies' 3rd sack defensively this year.
Yeah, that's one of the things we really had to work on, only having 2 sacks coming into the year. But did you see the spin move? He kind of just rolled there and rolled all the way around that to get that sack. Cedric Wilcox, haven't called his name a lot, but what a key time to come in there for that young man.
So on to punt is Matt Flynn. 3rd sack of the year, win the 7th game. It's been a big point of emphasis for New Mexico State. We got to figure out, their coaching staff said, how to get to the quarterback, and that time they did. Taylor, fair catch at the 12-yard line. That's where New Mexico State will take over. 41 yards on the punt. No return. 9 minutes, 43 seconds to go. We are in the first quarter here in Las Cruces. New Mexico State will have the ball when we come back. They're tied with Georgia Southern, 6-6 on Aggie Vision. Pink night at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Georgia Southern, New Mexico State are tied at 6 apiece. New Mexico State Athletics would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, New Mexico's agricultural community, for their support of Aggie Athletics. Well, Aggies get the football back, Danny, and when they've got the ball, there's some guys that you're going to be watching a lot of.
Yeah, Anthony McMeans up front there, the captain. He's the key in trying to keep those big Georgia Southern defensive linemen out of Tyler's hair there. And then Tyrann Taylor, those receivers, they got to be key for us. And you see Ligwe and Ironhead Gallen, the 2 linebackers that we got to figure out a way to get past them.
Aggies will set up at the 12-yard line. That's where they take over, tied at 6. Last drive was impressive. Rogers going to throw. He flips it out to Rose in the flat, and he gets absolutely blown up by one of the guys you just talked about, Ironhead Gallen, the senior from Madison, Florida.
Well, Ironhead came flying in there, but that was a missed block by the Aggies. So a lot of those quick outside tosses, it's key imperative that the wide receiver holds this block, and did not do that time.
Tough guy to hold a block on, too. And that guy comes screaming at you. Loss of 4, second and 14 for New Mexico State. That's Xavier Hall on the handoff. Kid from Las Cruces is loose. Xavier Hall with some nice moves and a first down. Out to the 27-yard line, a gain of 21, and the biggest run for him tonight.
You talked about Rose being patient, but look at being patient as well. You know, he's picking his way through there, Hall, and you see him kind of bounce left and then see something to the left a little bit more, and he just bounced around in there, and that was a great run by Hall.
Aggies will lose a yard on first down play to Xavier Hall. Back it up to the 26-yard line. So, and there's a flag down in the Georgia Southern. It wasn't the backfield. They kind of just picked it up, and now
62 offense, penalties 10 yards, repeat first down.
So back it up. I didn't catch the number, Danny, but they'll back it up, and it'll be first down now, 20 for New Mexico State.
And that's 3 penalties already for the Aggies.
Yeah, you can see it right there in the middle, and it looks like it is.
Looks like it was Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony McMeans.
It never fails when we highlight him, right?
That's how that works. Tyler rolls the pocket to left, now throws back to the right, where he's got a man open. That's Xavier Hall again. Hall makes a move but can't get away from the tackle, but he did get enough for a first down.
That is a nice play call right there, where you're going to roll it, and it's going to be a roll simulated like you're going to pass it to the left. He's looking left all the way, sends Hall out of the backfield to the right, and just dumps it off to him. What a great call by Coach.
William Bussey Jr. on the tackle for the Eagles. First down, they give it to Larry Rose, who's fresh. Rose is loose up the middle. Larry into Georgia Southern territory for a first down. Finally brought down by Eligwe, and a big gain for Larry Rose on first down.
And we talked about the line being the big key there. There was a massive hold that Larry Rose scooted through in a hurry.
Aggies now going with some pace. Both teams going no huddle. Rose again, patient, cuts back, and he's loose. Larry Rose, another big gainer. Ironhead Gallen dragged him down, but not before he picks up 14 yards and another first down to the 26.
And Jeff, I'm not sure what the coaches are seeing in there, but they're pouring it right up the middle, so they're running right at the heart of that defense.
Now Georgia Southern isn't going to stand for it. They call a timeout. They're going to try to figure out what's going on. And you know, that's a big heart of a defense.
Right.
You look at Sapp, who goes 330, Ellison, who goes 310. They brought Battle in, who goes 285. Roper's been in there at 270. They've got some big fellas
and you got
up there in the middle.
Ironhead Gallen is standing behind those guys, but you know, sometimes they get a little winded, get a little tired, and if you can just get a quick screen, just a tap on someone, you know, you can scoot by them. But those holes aren't small little crease holes. Those are major gaps that you see in the middle.
That's Tyson Summers, the first-year coach of Georgia Southern.
So you can see it right there. Look at the major hole that Rose is being able to just pour into. When Rose gets in there, those are great big positive yards that you're going to get, and he's going to pop one of those and take it to the house. That's a great job by that offensive line.
18 yards on that. First and 10 at the 26 for New Mexico State. Flip it out the far side. That is Huntley. First time his hands are on the ball. Gets back out to about the line of scrimmage on first down. Larry Rose, 8 rushes tonight, Danny, 70 yards. We talked about one of the keys for the Aggies was to get him going. 8 for 70 so far for Larry.
Yeah, and Rose has got some help with Hall, too, that he's in there. There's Hall in the backfield this time.
Hall stays in. Second down and 10 for New Mexico State. Xavier's got the ball, trying to squirt his way through. Runs into Gallen, runs into Bussey, gains 2. Out to about the 24. Now it's going to be third down 8 for New Mexico State.
Yeah, those are tough yards right there. Those are just inch by inch where you're just trying to get everything. And Hall is a determined runner, so he will get as many positive yards as possible.
Hall stays in on third down. Aggies need about the 17-yard line. Rogers getting pressure, flips it to the near side. Hogan tries to make an adjustment, and it's overthrown, incomplete. Defending on the play was Jesse Liptrot for Georgia Southern, and it's going to be fourth down, and it looks like they are going to try the field goal to see if they can take the lead. Will New Mexico State. Ball's scrimmage yard, line is the 24.
That was a quick throw for Rogers. He couldn't stay in there as much as he needed to. He was getting some help from blocking from Hall, and he had to just dump it quickly and just couldn't get to the ball.
This will be 41-yard attempt for Parker Davidson. He's 7 of 10 on the year from field goals. Long is 45. He's got plenty of leg. And he's got plenty of good. And New Mexico State on a 41-yard field goal has taken the lead. 7 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first half. Parker Davidson's 41-yard field goal has given New Mexico State a 9-6 lead over Georgia Southern here on Aggie Vision. Getting to know the Mimbres people who died more than 1,000 years ago. The excavation took place in the South Diamond Creek Pueblo in the Gila Wilderness. For more information, visit anthropology.nmsu.edu. Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium, a beautiful autumn evening here in southern New Mexico. New Mexico State on top of Georgia Southern. The score is 9-6. Aggies just took the ball 63 yards in 9 plays. It took them 2 minutes and 40 seconds to cap it off with a 41-yard field goal by Parker Davidson. So as much as Georgia Southern, Danny, dominated that first quarter, they were inside the red zone 3 times. All they got out of it was 6 points. New Mexico State's come back with a couple of stops and put some points on the board.
And the interesting thing was, Jeff, they had 4 rushes, 49 yards. They were pouring it right at the heart of that defense, and that was amazing. That was a good job.
Malik Henry and L.A. Ramsby back to receive the kick from Parker Davidson. That's Henry at the goal line. He's coming out. Good decision. Finally pushed out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Good field position now for Georgia Southern as they look to put some more points on the board. Again, if you're just joining us and you're used to seeing Georgia Southern go with the 2 quarterbacks, Kevin Ellison and Fabian Upshaw. Upshaw not playing tonight, has the injured back. We did see Seth Schumann, the freshman, for a little bit, actually for 1 series, and he's back in now. So the freshman who was hoping to redshirt, I think that was the plan, they ripped the red shirt off of him tonight. He's in there. And Danny, it's almost like, you know, if some pitchers have their own catcher, Wesley Fields has been in with him as the running back. I want to say almost every play, if not every play, that he's been the quarterback. Fields gets it and bounces free, and he's got some room on the left side. He turns the corner and is finally forced out of bounds in Aggie territory at about the 48-yard line. A gain of 20 on play that he was bottled up.
So those are the ones where if you're an Aggie, from Aggie's perspective, you've got to make that tackle. I think Hanks had him in the backfield and just could not hold on.
Field stays in with Schumann. Second series for the freshman, Schumann. Fields goes up the middle, runs into a bunch of guys. Roy Lopez was the first one there for New Mexico State. 3 yards on the first down carry. It'll be second down and 7 at the 45.
And there's some good battles happening up there on the defensive line, on the line of scrimmage on both sides.
Field stays in. Schumann throws the ball. A little bit of a different offense with him in. Straight drop. Time. Throws. Dropped by B.J. Johnson. Ball was over the middle. He was going to get hit. He did get hit. It looked like it was Wright who was on defending for New Mexico State. He was going to get hit, and he did. He dropped the ball.
And it looked like he kind of was just got a little short-handed there and started looking and kind of peeking in there. But in terms of having an open pattern, he was behind the linebackers, in front of the safeties, and he just kind of peeked a little bit, took his eye off there.
It was Longa who was coming in on defense. It was 1, not 21 for New Mexico State. They need the 38-yard line. Does Georgia Southern on 3rd down and 7. Schumann to throw, being forced out of the pocket. There's a flag down, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Dalton Harrington. Now let's take a look at the flag. The ball was tipped. Harrington, the linebacker, pulled it before it hit the turf.
And part of this is because there's a big push on that defensive line up there. There's the tap, there's the dive. Dalton Harrington pulls it down.
And the penalty was holding on Georgia Southern, so New Mexico State will take over on the turnover. Second turnover of the night for Georgia Southern. Both of them have been interceptions, and the Aggies have the ball in pretty good field position, starting at their own 48-yard line, leading 9-6. Big play by Harrington.
That is a great big play. Now you got to get some points off those turnovers. The last time they had the turnover, we had a pick by Jaden, and we didn't get any points out of it. Now we need some points.
First interception of the year for Harrington, and we've got a flag, and New Mexico State's going to back it up 5 more yards.
False start, 58 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
A long night for Desmond Candelaria. First they get his name spelled wrong on the back of his shirt, and that's I got to believe at least the 3rd penalty on him, right?
4 penalties on the Aggies up tonight.
Rose is the back with Tyler Rogers. Fake to Rose, throw complete. That is Lottie. First down, New Mexico State across the 40, a gain of 17 on the play.
And Lottie and Rogers, look at the confidence in Rogers, first of all. Look at him standing there and make that tough throw in between all the defense. He's surrounded, and Lottie makes a great catch.
Another false start for New Mexico State. Looked like everybody moved, but the ball didn't. That might have been on McMeans.
False start, 76 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Sage Dockstetter is the guy that they call the 6'7" freshman. Dan, what I tell you, every time something positive happens, you find a negative. It's really hard to get a momentum for New Mexico State.
It's hard to get in the rhythm, especially when they want to go tempo.
Rose with Rogers. They give it to Larry. Trying to dance around and get back to the line of scrimmage, and he finally does. William Bussey is there to drag him down along with big at number 90, Darius Sapp. He got himself about a yard where it'll be 2nd down and 14.
In that give pattern right there, I keep thinking one of these times Tyler's going to keep that thing as he's giving it to Rose and just keeping it around the end there because it's pretty open.
Larry stays in with Rogers for the Aggies. Now he motions out of the backfield. Empty backfield for Tyler. Going long, he's got a man, and he overthrows Hogan. There were 2 guys out there defending, one of them saying he pushed. Sean Freeman was there, and I think the head coach, Tyson Summers, believes there was a push as well. No flag, 3rd and 14 for New Mexico State.
Yeah, I think that should have been a completion, right? Because it seemed like there was enough separation there. Now, I don't know if he pushed or not. I couldn't tell, but it was one of those that we got to get the ball to him and let's make that play.
3rd and 14 for the Aggies. The 29-yard line is the line to gain for first down. Rogers with some time throws. It is incomplete and almost intercepted. Darius Jones is the guy who had it in his hands for Georgia Southern. It's going to be 4th and long and punt time for New Mexico State.
I don't think there's anyone open. There was great coverage by Georgia Southern on that, and he just tried to pour it in there, and nothing happening.
Aggies now 2 for 7 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Monte Crockett goes back to receive the Peyton Theisler punt. Crockett at his 10. Theisler with a good high kick. Crockett comes up and fair catches it at the 17-yard line. So not as bad as Georgia Southern might have thought they were going to get the ball. 17-yard line is certainly manageable to start this possession. So the Aggies do nothing with the turnover. The 2 turnovers have led to no points, but they still have the 9-6 lead.
That's two blown opportunities, and I think on that last series, Jeff, there was two penalties on the offensive linemen, and that makes it very hard to get in the rhythm.
Kevin Ellison comes back in, but the Aggie defense has been pretty stout so far. Certainly when they need to. There's been a lot of yards, Danny, but they haven't given up a lot of points.
They haven't, and I think this game has been all about the defense right here. So you see a long throw right there. That's the first interception.
Ellison is the quarterback with Breida on his left hip. The give is to Breida, who is wrapped up in the backfield, and a loss.
Look how many Aggies are standing around there. He had 6 guys. Talk about penetration on that defensive line. I think the whole line was there, plus a couple of linebackers, and that's how to do it.
Cortland Busby, Drew James with the first 2 there for New Mexico State. A loss of 2 on first down, 2nd down and 12 for the Eagles. Breida stays in. Quarterback keeps it and is dragged down by Rodney Butler, who is the guy to shoot the gap. The nation's leading tackler got him low. Give him 2 yards. Actually, they're probably about a yard. It's going to make a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 11 for Georgia Southern.
And Butler, he's shimmying off those big offensive linemen. He's got to fend those guys off and keep his eye on a quick quarterback and come down and make that tackle downhill, and he did.
Probably a throwing down for Georgia Southern. Ellison had some big 3rd down conversions via the air on the first couple of drives. Instead, he's going to keep it. try to run the option far side, and he is dragged down by big number 90, Cortland Busby.
How about Cortland Busby? How about that entire defensive line and the penetration there? So you have a defensive lineman run down a quick, good running quarterback by Cortland Busby there.
To Georgia Southern now 3 of 9 on third down conversions, and the Aggies should get it back and should get it back with pretty good field position. O.J. Clark, Teron Taylor back to receive the Matt Flynn punt. I always wonder when you rotate quarterbacks, is it tough to get rhythm? Now for Ellison, he's used to rotating. He's normally rotating with Fabian Upshaw. Ball's going to bounce. Boy, I was surprised one of those two guys didn't call a fair catch.
Yeah, that they just gave 20 yards back.
Right between them. Ball rolls all the way back to the 24-yard line where the Eagles down it, and that's where the Aggies will have it. So we'll come back. 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the first half. New Mexico State's got a 9-6 lead over Georgia Southern. Hope you're enjoying it tonight. Thanks for being with us right here on Aggie Vision. Cruces, New Mexico, where New Mexico State leads Georgia Southern by a score of 9-6, 2:51 to go in the second quarter. Jeff Sibieta along with Danny Nee here on Aggie Vision. Doug Martin's offense has moved. They put up 221 yards of offense. Georgia Southern's offense has moved as well, Danny, 256 yards, but it's only 9-6.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing a little bit, right? And part of two, we'd have more. We have 5 penalties on offense for 49 yards, so
5 penalties, 49 yards for New Mexico State on offense. Empty backfield. There's 5 receivers in the pattern for Tyler Rogers on first down. Out of the shotgun. 5 guys, nobody's open, so he's going to tuck it and run and gets himself 4 yards. That's great coverage by Georgia Southern. You got 5 guys in the pattern and can't find anybody.
Can't find one guy, and he has time to throw the ball too. But I like that package because it creates a lot of matchups out there. Now, one of those receivers has to find an opening somewhere along the way. But if not, that's 5 yards right there.
4 yards for Tyler on first down. It's 2nd and 6. The give is to Xavier Hall. Hall has had a nice game, finds himself another first down. Give him 8 yards on a carry out across the 35-yard line and a first down for the Aggies.
That offensive line, I'm just amazed by the holes they're creating in those little middle runs they have.
Hall stays in. He gets the ball again, come on the near side, cuts back, and he turns a loss into a gain of about 8 yards. Xavier Hall, the senior out of Las Cruces, having himself a night.
So let me tell you, the hardest thing to do when you're tackling someone is if you lose your angle. So if you get over top, they call it over pursuing. So if you go too far on him, he'll stop and cut back. That's exactly what Hall did there.
Larry Rose back in for New Mexico State. He gets the carry, patient, tried to find a hole, and he is dropped there after maybe a gain of about a yard. Ken Butler Jr. coming up from a linebacker position to make the stop.
And it's a good thing he made that stop because he was going to break that one for some big yardage if he didn't.
3rd down and 1 for New Mexico State. Rose stays in. Rose gets the handoff and fights his way for the first down. Broke a tackle in the backfield. Butler was there again, busted through, who was unable to wrap up Larry, who gets away for the first down. Wow. So with 1:35 to go, the Aggies will move the chains.
And create a little tempo here, but how about that little slippery Rose? I thought they had him and just nothing.
That was Ken Butler who made the play on the previous play, was there in the backfield to try to make another one. Rose stays in. Tyler fakes to him. Now he's pressured. If he can get the corner, he's got some room, but it's Ironhead Gallen who gets there to run him out of bounds. The gain's going to be about 3. Stop the clock right at midfield.
Yeah, that's not bad because you stop the clock there. But, again, great coverage by Georgia Southern there. There's nothing to go to, and he's sitting back there. He has time to throw, but there's no one open.
1:13 to go. New Mexico State has all 3 timeouts left if they need them. Tyler fakes again to Rose, this time thrown across the field. It is caught. Greg Hogan's got it for a first down and out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Now that's a great catch by Greg Hogan right there. Not sure what coach is so uptight about or upset about, but something happened there. But Hogan made a great catch.
Hall comes back in as the running back, replacing Rose. Rogers out of the shotgun again. Gives it to Xavier, who got nowhere to go this time. He was dragged down from below. It looked like it was... Well, New Mexico State will call the timeout.
30-second timeout.
Trey Griffin was in on the tackle for Georgia Southern. So the Aggies burned their first time out of the half. 1 second to go. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for New Mexico State. I think any points are big here, Danny, for New Mexico State. Obviously, you want to put it in the end zone. For Georgia Southern, I mean, you play pretty well and find yourself down right now. It's a big defensive stand for the Eagles.
Yeah, so, they're coming in, and they've had they've been on the road. You talked about them coming off, multi-road games into this, but still you come in here and you're expecting to do good because you've done good on the last 2 times that you've played New Mexico State. New Mexico State has just been stingy on defense, and on offense, they're just pouring it in. They got some big runs up the middle.
2nd down and 8 for the Aggies at the 36-yard line. 5 guys are going to be in it to the pattern for Tyler Rogers, who's forced out of the pocket and stumbles away. It was going to be a loss. Instead, he gains about 7 out to the 29-yard line. Rogers spins away, the crafty junior, and the Aggies use a 2nd timeout. Well, they got penetration that time.
And they got lots of penetration on that one for sure. Empty backfield, no one to help out. There's a missed block. You see it right there. So he didn't have time to even look downfield. And Tyler makes everything happen with his legs there and just comes up a little short on that.
Bernard Dawson was the guy who got through originally, the big defensive end. The sophomore Jay Ellison downfield from the defensive tackle position to finally make the tackle. So it's 3rd down and 1 for New Mexico State. Rogers 10 of 16 through the air for 123 yards. And the 1 touchdown. He's ran the ball 5 times for 26 yards. Big play for him and New Mexico State, as well as obviously the Georgia Southern defense here. Rose and Huntley both in the setbacks. Rose gets it, and he is wrapped up from behind and will lose yards. Chris De La Rosa comes in from the linebacker position, and now what do you do?
Yeah, that's a tough one right there, but
Aggies are going to go for it.
Yeah.
4th down and 3. Tyler trying to get him to the line. He's going to throw. He's pressured, and he is going to be almost dropped. Dumps it over the head of Teron Taylor just to get the ball free. Was a job by him, and a heck of a stand by the Georgia Southern defense because the Aggies look like they have the momentum.
So here, 4th down, you're going for it. I like the play. I like going for it on 4th down. That's okay. But you got to be able to hold your block and get what you need. Even on the 3rd down play, you needed to make that 1st down there. Here it is, 4th. We lose someone through a linebacker, through a blitz. He scrambles around, and he's open. He just couldn't get it to him.
Ilegwe, number 7, was the guy who had the pressure. The big play I thought there was De La Rosa making the stop on Rose coming from the weak side linebacker. So now what happens here? They got 4 guys in the set.
Well, certainly they're gonna pour it down there if they can.
Well, they got the passing quarterback is in. Seth Schumann, the freshman quarterback. They got 21 seconds and 2 timeouts to go. Let's see what they can do. Georgia Southern 1st down. Schumann pressured, flips it incomplete over the middle. Got pressured out and was trying to get it to Breida. Aggies have gotten better pressure tonight, Danny, consistently on the quarterback, and not so much in the first quarter, but certainly in the second quarter than they've gotten a lot this season.
Yeah, no doubt. Second quarter, they've really turned it on, and that really has made a difference. And it doesn't matter which quarterback it is they're putting pressure on. And the ones they broke are those big option plays. Those are the biggest ones they've broke so far.
All right, they're going to put this one to bed. They bring in Ellison to go to the victory formation and take a knee and get out of here at halftime. And so, weird first half. A lot of offense. Both teams on pace to put up 500 yards in total offense.
And we had in the offense, we had a missed opportunity right there at the end of the second quarter.
So New Mexico State goes to the half with a 9-6 lead. Georgia Southern puts up 256 yards of total offense. The Aggies 266. If I told you, Danny, halftime, and I think we expected big numbers like that, you wouldn't have thought it was 9-6, though, right?
I was thinking big scoring. I thought it was big numbers they're going to put up, and it was going to be on the scoreboard and not on the rushing yards.
So 9-6, and a lot of those yards were in the first half. I'm going to tell you, New Mexico State defensively in the second half, and we'll ask Doug Martin about this, really played a lot better. And I think a big part of it, Danny, is obviously they're stopping the run, but they got some pressure on the quarterbacks when they forced Georgia Southern into throwing situations.
Right, and made a big difference.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it did. So the Aggies have the lead at the half. If you're Georgia Southern, you're kind of scratching your head and saying, right? I mean,
I think if you're Georgia Southern, I think Georgia Southern is thinking, you know what, we dominated the line of scrimmage, and they're feeling like there's no reason why we shouldn't just keep pouring it on them. Defensively, right at the end of the second quarter, they started pushing that offensive line around, and so I think they're thinking from a momentum standpoint, they have the momentum going into halftime, Jeff.
All right, it is halftime in Las Cruces. We'll see that big, gigantic pink ribbon on Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night. New Mexico State goes to the locker room with a lead. It's halftime in Las Cruces. New Mexico State Aggies 9, Georgia Southern Eagles 6 here on Aggie Vision. Getting ready to start the second half. Doug Martin's New Mexico State Aggies leading Georgia Southern's Eagles 9-6 here in Las Cruces. Tyler Bass ready to put his boot to the ball for the Georgia Southern Eagles. Jonathan Boone and Greg Hogan back to receive for New Mexico State. 9-6 with over 520 yards offense and 15 points. Defense is held when they needed to. Jeff Symbieta, Danny Nee here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Big game for both of these teams. Bass's kick is going to go towards Hogan, who takes it at the goal line. Greg takes it out. Just over the 20-yard line, then he's pushed back. They'll mark it at the 21-yard line where New Mexico State will set up shop for their first possession of the second half. Take a look at some of the stats. Anything just jump off the page to you? The 2 turnovers maybe, but the Aggies didn't cash in.
Yeah, we didn't cash in on those, but we talked about all of the positive yards and all of the big things we had there. Penalties really took Aggies out of a couple of good momentum drives. They just couldn't get anything going. They just kept getting pushed back. 5 penalties, way too many. I'm sure Coach had a talk with the boys about that in the locker room. You know, other than that, it's just all about those big guys up front and grinding it out.
If I'm not mistaken, Danny, we're all 5 of those penalties on the offensive line, right?
Yeah.
Empty backfield for Tyler Rogers to get things started. Now he'll motion Larry Rose back into the backfield to join him. Fakes to Larry. Tyler throws. It is caught. That is Boone for the. I'm sorry, that is not Boone. That's Isaiah Lottie for the first down.
You know, Lottie, nice catch on that because he knew he was going to get popped. Got a player down there. But boy, Lottie knew he was going to get drilled, and he did, and he hung on to that thing.
That's Sean Freeman, who is in at safety for Georgia Southern. They have some injuries in the defensive backfield. R.J. Murray is a sophomore for them who normally starts at the safety position. He's out today with a knee injury, so Freeman is in for him. So they're getting a little bit thin back there, and Tyson Summers coming out to take a look and see how his sophomore safety is doing.
You know, and I didn't see what happened on that.
Let's take a look and see if we can see it here. And I believe it was Freeman who was in on the tackle. They faked to Rose and Tyler with a pretty good pass.
Yeah, nice play action. Sets his feet and gets the ball out there. And Lottie knew he was going to take a hit, and there it is right there.
Yeah, it was Freeman in on the tackle. And I don't know if it's his shoulder. Kind of hard to see exactly what they're looking at. That was just the first play from scrimmage in the second half.
You know, it's tough to come back out here and get in a rhythm and then
after
start.
a long halftime.
Yeah, you get a really long halftime. You come out here, you get one play, it's a pass. You know, you get big collision, and then we sit. We should, right, to make sure everyone's okay. But it's hard to get back into a rhythm.
Right.
He's up and looks like he's all right.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So the sophomore Sean Freeman, it looks like a shoulder. Is that what you guessed from that? Looking at that, what he's doing?
Yeah,
there?
I'm not sure.
So they're a little bit thin, certainly. Aggies have first down at the 34. Rose, the setback with Rogers. Fake to Larry, roll the pocket, he's looking back to him. Gets it to Larry Rose, who takes it back towards the middle. There's a flag back and down, and so is Rogers. Flag back at the quarterback, and Rogers was down as well. Rose gets 11 yards for a first down. I got to believe it's roughing back there,
Yep.
and Tyler was real slow to get up.
And he took a pop on that one.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 26 defense. Penalty 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
You know
Jay Beaudry, the redshirt freshman, is guilty for Georgia Southern.
And you know, I like Larry Rose as he sees the field. You know, he just got a good vision where he can get the ball, Jeff, and he knows that there's a lot of blockers, but there's a lot of defenders out in front here. So you see Tyler rolling right. He throws it back to Rose, and a lot of guys out in front there, and he cuts back.
Ball's out. Tyler jumps on it and actually picks up about a half a yard.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Tyler Rogers.
Aggies have not turned the ball over tonight. Georgia Southern has turned it over twice. So there you go, a big gain, a penalty on top of it. What do? Put the ball on the ground.
On the carpet.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they were able to pick it back up. 2nd down and 10 for New Mexico State. Rose the setback with Tyler Rogers, who rolls the pocket out to the right. Tyler's looking deep. Now he's going to tuck it, run it back towards the middle, and pick himself up 8 yards out to the 32-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 2 for New Mexico State.
You know, I think Georgia Southern is feeling a little uncomfortable defensively because that time they didn't even get their down linemen down. They were just still standing around trying to figure out what happened, and the up-tempo came, and it was a roll out of the pocket. Now, there wasn't anything to do with it, but the Aggies are sure confusing them a bit.
3rd and 2 for New Mexico State. Rogers keeps it. He gets a 1st down, spins it into about the 27-yard line, and there's a flag down.
Rogers on the keeper.
Flag down where you would expect it to be holding, but let's see what they call. Your referee's got a little bit of time tonight. He's Jeff Hilliard.
76 offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 3rd down.
Second one on Sage Dockstader tonight, the freshman from Ontario, Canada. So instead of a 1st down, it'll be 3rd down and 10 for New Mexico State. Penalties on that offensive line have really been slowing down that offense tonight.
Gets them out of their rhythm, too. That's really tough.
Aggies need the 30 for a 1st down. First drive, 2nd half. Aggies lead the Eagles 9-6. Tyler's got some room. He tucks it and runs. 1st down and a whole lot more. Goes towards trying to get to the sideline. Wasn't going to get there. And he is finally dropped by Jesse Liptrop, but not before he picks up 15 and a 1st down.
Yeah, so he's ducking his shoulders. All I could think of is back when he played UNM back in Albuquerque, that one time where he got hurt doing that. But this is an all-out blitz, and there's just no one. He couldn't get the ball out fast enough when everyone's coming. But with an all-out blitz, there's nowhere to go.
Larry Rose was down, but not completely. Spins away from a potential loss. Picks himself up 3. Larry Rose to the 21 on 1st down. We got another player down. It's Tyler Rogers. Now, was that him just tying his shoe?
Yeah, he's just getting his shoe, getting his wheel back on there, huh?
Then why do I got people in polo shirts and T-shirts on the field?
Well, because they're worried because the quarterback had to tie his shoe, Jeff.
Yeah,
so we have to get some help out there.
Sebastian Anderson's coming off the field, the right tackle. Rogers, 8 carries tonight, 57 yards. And a big 15 on the pickup, maybe 16 on the pickup on 3rd down on the 3rd down conversion. So it's 2nd and 7 for New Mexico State at the 21. Tyler keeps it again. Can he get around? He does. That was a heck of a move.
Yeah.
He put on a good player, got around Eligwe, got himself a 1st down.
So that was what I was talking about earlier, Jeff, where they kept having that little counter play that would come back there with Rose, and I kept thinking he's going to keep it there. He kept it right there, and it was open.
Ukemi Eligwe stayed at home. He was there.
Yeah, it's a
Tyler
good thing he did, or that would have been 6.
Give it to Tyler for that. So 1st down, 10 New Mexico State at the 14, driving on their opening possession of the 2nd half of the 9-6 lead. Rogers looking to the end zone. He is incomplete. Looking there for Isaiah Lottie. It was well defended out there.
It was. And, you know, if he was going to miss it, you wanted to miss it wide, so there wasn't a potential for an interception in an end zone to kill the drive. But did he get his hands on it? I don't know if he could have pulled that down. Maybe it was just a little too far.
I think it was Gallen that was out there on pass defense for Georgia Southern, and he was right there. I mean, it was going to be, I'd put it perfectly. 5 guys in the pattern now on 2nd down for New Mexico State. Rogers with time over the middle for Taylor, incomplete. Just off his back shoulder. He wasn't able to get there. Freeman, who's back in the game after coming off with that injury, was there defending for the Eagles.
No, very gutsy throw for Tyler to throw back in there where it was double coverage, and it got to the receiver, but he just couldn't pull it down for some reason. Maybe someone tapped it or not, or hit it, I don't know. But tough throw right there.
All right, so now you've got a 3rd down, 10. Aggies can get a 1st down at the 4. 4-man rush by the Eagles forces Tyler out of the pocket. Chucks it short. It is complete. Obviously short of the 1st down to O.J. Clark. Clock runs at the 12-yard line, and Parker Davidson comes on to attempt a field goal for New Mexico.
So 4 guys in the pattern, all 4 covered. He runs around, tries to spring himself loose, keeping his feet out there, keeping the play alive. Nothing doing. So
what? Georgia Southern's defensive backs have been good.
Yeah. You know, Coach said this is a tough defense we're going to play, and you can see it.
So Parker Davidson's 1 for 1 on the day field goal attempt. He made a 41-yarder in the 2nd quarter. This one will be from 30. little trouble with the hold, but it looks like it is true. And Parker Davidson hits from 30 yards, and the Aggies extend their lead to 12-6. 11 minutes, 22 seconds to go. We've just started the third quarter here in Las Cruces. Aggies take the opening drive and put some points on the board. A 30-yard Parker Davidson field goal. New Mexico State leads Georgia Southern 12-6 on Aggie Vision. Mexico State on top of Georgia Southern as we're early in the third quarter on Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night here in Las Cruces. 11:22 to go, third quarter. New Mexico State just took the opening drive of the second half. 66 yards and 11 plays. 3:32 was the time elapsed, and it culminated in a Parker Davidson 30-yard field goal.
You know, Jeff, on that last drive, too, they're moving along and get that sixth penalty, which really makes it hard.
Now backed him up. It turned a first down into a third and long. Now they did convert on that. That was Tyler Rogers on the 16-yard run. But penalties are going to kill you if you keep making them like that, and it's been the offensive line each time. The Aggies were aided on that by a late hit call on that drive. Malik Henry, L.A. Ramsby back to receive the kick from Parker Davidson. The Eagles go on offense for the first time. That's Henry, 8 yards deep, and he'll stay there, take it out to the 25 and start with pretty decent field position. It is a touchback, and that's where they'll go. What do you expect Georgia Southern to do quarterback-wise? Now, they normally go back and forth with Upshaw and Ellison. Upshaw is not playing tonight. Fabian Upshaw, their senior, has a back injury. And so they've gone with the sophomore, or with the freshman, I'm sorry, with Seth Schumann.
Well, I think if it was me, I think you go with the sure thing. You know, you have Allison, who's been putting up some big yards, and he's done quite well. I think you're behind. You got to know you're behind, and you've got to get back with what you got to dance with who brought you.
Yeah.
And it's Allison who has got him here, and so he doesn't have the Upshaw. So I don't know.
Ellison's part of that duo.
Number 18, Georgia Southern. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. This is number 18's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Yeah, I sure didn't see that.
Now that's Ken Butler Jr., so that backs him up. And you can see Butler walking off. And you saw the graphic that we had up on Georgia Southern's quarterbacks. And that's what happened right there. Butler and Ibekwe got into it a little bit. And 18 White is the guy that threw the penalty on. All right, so Ellison's in at quarterback. It is first down and 10 for the Eagles at the 13-yard line. Breida takes the handoff off the right side, gets a pretty good block to spring him. Gets out to the 20, a gain of 7. Dalton Harrington in on the tackle for New Mexico State.
So they go back and said, look, let's just get back to the bread and butter, and that's this pull leading linemen around there and just give Breida the ball and put him up the middle or around the corner here.
Second down and 3 for the Eagles. Trailing 12-6. Breida again, middle. Got himself about 2, maybe a yard. Give me a yard and a half short. Needs to get to the 23s between the 21 and the 22 now. Third down, about a yard and a half for Georgia Southern. Got to figure they're going to give it to the big back and let him go, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Or take Allison, but I'd just give it to the big guy over that big offensive line.
Breida. Maybe the last push got him there, and it did. He was met, the hole closed, but he got himself about 2.5 yards out to the 24 and a first down.
Well, I think this could turn into a battle of the wheels up front there, and this is where you got the big offensive line, and you know, Coach Summers knows those guys are the big guys, and they've been doing good with them, so they're just going to stay behind them and keep pushing it along.
Breida stays in with Kevin Ellison, the senior quarterback for Georgia Southern on first down. They pitch it to the up man with nowhere to go. Spins and a few yards. Miles Campbell was the guy who took that'll go down as a pass.
Yeah. Defensive pursuit. So defensive pursuit is something that I really think that defenses that really want to aspire to get better and better, that's everyone to the ball. And that last play is a good example of that, where you had 7 guys to the ball.
3 yards on the first down pass to Campbell, second down and 7. Ellison keeps it, gets through 2 tackles, gets through 3 tackles, and finally is dragged down after getting himself another first down.
Had him in the backfield again, Jeff, so there's another one that he just broke a tackle and he just pushed through there, and you have him. You have to hold on somehow, but he's slippery. He's a good runner.
First down for the Eagles, 37-yard line. Ramsby's the back now. Tosses at the far side, and Miles Campbell gets hit as soon as he catches it by Terrell Hanks. A loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, Terrell Hanks wasn't having any of that this time. He just saw the ball come right out and went right there and made a tackle. So that was a great open field tackle. Quick toss, give it to the guy in the open, let him get some positive yards, and he just couldn't get anything.
Well, obviously they want to get Campbell involved. He's touched it twice. On this drive, he had not touched it before this evening. 2nd down and 11 for the Eagles. Ramsby the back with Ellison. They'll option the short side.
Wow.
Not much there. In fact, he lost himself another yard. Who's that busted through?
Looks like 32.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of look. I had to get my glasses out to figure out who it was.
Dalton Roca.
Dalton Roca just got in there. He did bust through there and made that, broke up that play before it really got started.
3rd down and 12 for Georgia Southern. Ellison's thrown 4 times. 3 of 4, but picked off once. Actually 4 of 5, but picked off once officially. Being pressured. Now he's got a lot of room on the near side.
Oh.
Hit from behind. The ball is loose. Ball is picked up by Busby, and New Mexico State has the football. Cortland Busby on the fumble recovery. Ellison is down. He got drilled from behind.
Well, so when you're tackling,
Was it Noah Brown who hit him?
I'm not sure who came from behind. Let's see where the penetration came right there.
It's Noah Brown who's going to hit him from behind, strip the ball. Cortland Busby with the recovery.
Cortland Busby scoops in and goes. Tackling, they tell you, you go break down. You always sound break down, break down. The only time you're not going to break down is when they're not seeing you come or not looking. That case, no one saw Noah Brown coming. Pops him, little scoop and go.
Aggies have it, 1st down at the 17. Let's see if they can take advantage this time of a turnover. Rose is the back. Rogers to throw on the wheel route to Rose, incomplete. He saw Jesse Liptrot coming.
Yeah, that was going nowhere, and someone was going to be wearing a little paint after that one. That was a tough throw into coverage.
Can New Mexico State now cash in a huge break? Big hit by Brown. Busby with the fumble recovery. They give it to Larry Rose, who just runs into people and bounces around for a yard or two. He ran into the back of Jonathan Battle Jr., bounced off of him. Battle goes 285. Larry gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there was nothing going right there, trying to run right at Battle. So there was bounces around, tries to get something, and just nothing there. Good penetration by Georgia Southern on that defensive line.
3rd down, 10 at the 17. Aggies get a 1st down at the 7. Rose off of Tyler Rogers' left hip, and a timeout is going to be called by New Mexico State. I think Doug Martin really wants to cash the check here.
New Mexico State, first time out of the
So the
half.
Aggies will have it 3rd down and 10 when we come back. There's 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. 3rd quarter, New Mexico State 12, Georgia Southern 6. Glad you're with us tonight here on Aggie Vision. It's Chris's Doug Martin's team facing a big 3rd down at the 17-yard line, up 12-6 midway through the 3rd quarter. New Mexico State Athletics would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, New Mexico's agricultural community, for their support of Aggie Athletics. All right, Danny. 3rd down and 10, coming off of a big turnover. Aggies are 4 for 11 this evening on 3rd down conversions. What do we got going down on the field over there? Did we have a little accident? Was there an animal on the field and we have a little accident? Is that what I'm looking at? That's exactly what I'm looking at, isn't it? Is that what happened during the
I didn't even see that. I didn't even notice, yeah.
Nor did I.
Oh, okay.
All right,
well, so, hey, what do? Do you come out? I kind of like the empty backfield, but, Georgia Southern, they're going to go get him. I think they're going to go get Tyler and not sit back and wait for him to create anything. So, you're going to get a little pressure, because you have to get a few yards. You can't just get a couple. So, I think they're coming, so you're not going to have an empty backfield. Certainly play action, screen, draw. Probably not a draw.
Hogan is the lone receiver to the left. He sends 3 guys to the right side. He rolls right. He's pressured. He dumps it over the middle, incomplete. Good job just to get rid of it and not take the sack and give Parker Davidson a more reasonable field goal try.
Yeah, I think there was nothing there. I think they were trying to get something quick across underneath, but lots of pressure by Georgia Southern. They were going to go get him.
So Parker Davidson comes on. It should be about a 34-yard attempt. He is 2 for 2 on the day. He's hit from 41. He is hit from 30. That would make him 9 of 12 on the season. And this, Danny, is big because it would up it to a 2-possession game, although plenty of time midway through the third quarter. Parker Davidson's kick is no good. So Davidson's missed an extra point, and he has missed a field goal. Georgia Southern's defense holds. 3 turnovers by Georgia Southern, 0 points by New Mexico State off of those turnovers, and the Eagles will have the ball when we come back. 6:41 to go, third quarter. New Mexico State leads Georgia Southern 12-6 on Aggie Vision. 12-6, New Mexico State leads Georgia Southern, 6:41 to go in the third quarter. A lot of yards tonight, but not a lot of scoring. Jeff Sabieta along with Danny Nee and Danny Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator for New Mexico State, has done a lot with this defense, and they forced some turnovers tonight.
Yeah, so they missed field goal, missed a scoring opportunity there, and it's going to come back on the defense. So the defense has to be able to draw something up and dig their heels in, and that's the man that's going to have to architect this stance by the defense. Seth
Schumann's the quarterback. Ellison is not out. He does have his helmet on. Schumann to throw. It is incomplete. Terrell Hanks there to knock it away.
How about that?
From Monte Crockett.
How about that tight coverage on that? I like that.
This is going to be interesting the rest of the way, because last time Georgia Southern had the ball, their quarterback, Kevin Ellison, got hit hard from behind, coughed it up, Noah Brown on the hit. Now, they've rotated quarterbacks. Ellison does have his helmet on the sidelines. Looks like he wants to come back in, so we'll see how this plays out throughout the evening. Breida on the handoff, squirts through, and he's got it wasn't Rodney Butler, it was Drew James on his back, carried him for about 7 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, certainly Ellison, I think it will be able to run the ball, have more option opportunities and other things, but in terms of throwing the ball, Seth's done quite well, but when you have big guys up front, they just hand the ball off and pour in behind them.
They need the 30 for a first down, 3rd down and 3. Breida's the running back. Schumann gives it to Breida, who runs into a bunch of guys, gets away from a few, and is finally wrapped up and dragged down. Jacob Nwanga is the guy who comes up from his safety position to wrap up the big running back.
So look at all the Aggies that are right there. So when you come down to it, you got to go with your bread and butter. The bread and butter is give it to Breida up the middle.
That's Aggie. Hard now. No, bread and butter on Breida.
But look at the Aggie penetration on the defensive line, and then the support from the linebackers and the secondaries. And that was DeMarcus Owens coming off, and those guys did a great job on the whole defense.
So a 3 and out forced by New Mexico State's defense. O.J. Clark and Teron Taylor back to receive the Matt Flynn punt. Rolls it a little bit. That's going to be towards Clark, who lets it bounce again, and he's lucky to roll out of bounds at the 31. Yeah, why won't they catch the ball?
It's like a little, not sure he wants to catch it there, but they got a little break because it did roll out of bounds.
All right, so the Aggies set up shop at the 32-yard line for their third possession of the second half. They took the opening possession, kicked the 30-yard field goal. They then got the interception and missed a 34-yard field goal, so it's still a 6-point game. New Mexico State has scored a touchdown, missed the extra point, and 2 field goals. And obviously, well, not obviously, but 2 field goals for Georgia Southern. That's Larry Rose. Gains himself about 3 yards before being forced out of bounds. Iligwe was there. Just across the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Tyler sets up, gives it to Larry. This time he stumbled before being smothered by Chris De La Rosa. So a gain of a yard.
And so Rose looked like he saw a little cutback lane in there, and he was trying to plant and cut back, but just couldn't get there. De La Rosa was just all the way breaking that play up before it got going.
3rd down and 6. Aggies need the 42 for a 1st down. Empty backfield for Tyler Rogers, so there'll be 5 guys in the pattern. Quick toss. Hogan's got it at the 40, and he is not going to get there. The ball is out. The ball is out. I see no ruling by an official. Liptrot was the guy, I believe, who made the tackle, and it's Georgia Southern's ball. Hogan fumbled trying to battle for the yardage. Georgia Southern's Liptrot comes up.
So let's see what happens. I'm not sure where he lost the ball as he's coming around there trying to get that 1st down. Clearly wrapped up there, and
well, he's on a man. The ball's out. Joshua Moon made a tremendous tackle to keep Hogan. And looked like, Danny, it looked like Hogan, instead of trying to go forward to get the yardage, that he only needed another yard, tried to make something bigger out of it.
The previous play was ruled a fumble recovered by the defense. That ruling is under further review.
I think that's a heck of a play by Moon, a sophomore safety, who was on Hogan, and you'll see, watch number 22, as Greg tries to get the 1st down,
well, I think,
stopped him right there at the 40
Well, so Hogan was trying to cut back, so you're asking about why he was going that direction. He was cutting back so he thought he could get there, but they closed so fast, and there he is.
Yeah, where's his knee there? And it looks like it's on the player. It looks like it's on number 22. It never hit the ground. The ball's out, and it was Liptrot who ends up with it. I think it's going to be Georgia Southern's ball.
Kind of looks that way, and I think Hogan was just trying to get those extra yards, and it always seems like every time you start fighting for those 1 or 2 extra yards, you just
well, he needed to get the 1st down. He needed
Yeah.
2 more yards for that 1st down. I don't know that his knees were down, Danny.
I don't think he was.
So if it stands, it will be the first turnover of the night by New Mexico State. It will set Georgia Southern up in pretty good field position at the New Mexico State 40-yard line. The Eagles have not scored since the 14:53 mark, the 2nd play of the 2nd quarter, when they got a field goal 22 yards by Younghoe Koo.
You know, so New Mexico State has had the field position this 2nd half, so in this case you just turned the field position, and so those missed scoring opportunities really become big now.
Well, I think that's right.
Yeah, so now you've given the field position back, and defense is back on the field again.
You know, Georgia Southern feels like they left a lot of points on the board in the 1st half. They got into the red zone 3 times and only got 6 points out of it. And I know New Mexico State feels like they've left a lot of points out there. They missed an extra point. They just missed a 34-yard field goal.
Right.
Their kicking game is a bit of a concern to them. And here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st down.
All right, so Georgia Southern, their first takeaway. Eagles set up. 1st down at the 40-yard line of New Mexico State. Ellison checks back in, so he's fine. The running back with him will be Wesley Fields, who had 77 yards in the 1st half rushing. They had a lot of yards rushing now in the 1st half. 2 wides each side for the senior quarterback. Gives it to Fields. Breaks outside and stumbles for a 2-yard gain. Noah Brown's the guy who kind of forced him to stumble.
Grab that shoelace. Without Noah grabbing that shoelace, I think he gets the corner, Jeff, and if he gets that corner, it could be off to the house.
There's a lot of room out there, that's for sure. Instead, it's a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8 now for the Eagles. Field stays in. Well, they got some good running backs. Bobbled snap by Ellison, and so he just takes it right up the gut, and Terrell Hanks grabs him at the shoelaces to bring him down, but not before he gets 10 yards and a 1st down.
Best play this half, right? So it's the fake snap thing. Wasn't a fake at all, but
just
lots of pursuit. Yeah, there's just lots of pursuit up front and just broken play.
Ellison keeps it. He turns it up and right into Dalton Harrington, maybe a yard. 2nd down, 9.
You know, Dalton Harrington is having a great game. It's glad to see him back helping those linebacking crew out.
Yeah, they missed him last week, huh? Ellison, 15 carries, 103 yards. 2nd down and 9. Run the option to the near side, cut it straight up the field. He is loose, breaks a tackle, and gets dropped at about the 13-yard line. Stody Bradley's the guy who finished him off.
You know, Jeff, that's where one of those things that the broken play, I think the coaches saw that there's a opening in there when you start down on an option and you're leaving that quick dive up the middle open, and that's exactly what that was right there. Start with the option and
yeah, Ellison's down. He's slow getting up. He's still not up. Head-to-head with Jacob Nwanga, you saw that the two hats meet. Doesn't look like they're tending to anything necessarily, right? So
looks like
this is almost one of those, are you okay?
Yeah.
And he trots off the field, does the senior quarterback. So on 1st down at the 13, the senior has to go to the sideline because he was tended to. Either that or they've got to call a timeout. So it is a knee, like a scrape on the knee is what it looks like. So Seth Schumann comes back in at quarterback. The freshman playing in his first collegiate game. They took the red shirt off him today. Got Fields with him in the backfield. Gives it to Fields. Wesley gets to the 10-yard line, then thrown backwards by Rodney Butler.
That's a good tackle by Rodney Butler in there. Wraps him up, both hands around, make sure he's not going to sneak out of there because Fields has just been, he's been a torrent.
Second down, 7 for the Eagles. Fields stays in. Schumann with 2 wides left, 2 wides right for the freshman quarterback. Gives it to Fields. A hole on the left side. Butler chases him from behind, and then he's run out of bounds. Going to be just short of the 1st down. I believe it's at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, so Fields again, this time come out in a pistol look and just pour it in there. I think this is just, you know, keep more of the big back through the goal, just pour him in there.
Ellison back in at quarterback on 3rd down and 1. Fields is with him. They can get a 1st down at the 3. Senior quarterback wants the ball. They run into each other. He's in trouble and he is dropped. Stody Bradley got through from the right defensive end position and was able to drop the quarterback after they had a problem on the exchange.
Well, look at how quick he was shot out of there. It was just like a cannon. I'm not sure how he got there so fast, but that play had nowhere to go, and there's 4 guys in the backfield there.
He just got around big number 71, Max Magana, the senior tackle, and they bring on Youngwei Koo for another field goal. This one will be 29 yards. So if this holds, and Koo's field goal is on the way and good from 31 yards. So New Mexico State's defense holds him to 3 after the turnover, which gave the Eagles the ball at the 40. Again, they get into the red zone, the 4th time in the red zone for Georgia Southern, and they've come away with 9 points.
The defense, how about the defense this week? You know, after last week, it was, you know, I'm not sure that they had the recipe for how to shut down anyone. Now, they've played just fantastic this whole game, Jeff. And so, I mean, a lot to go still, but the defense has really played stellar.
29-yard field goal. It was 8 plays, 28 yards. 3 minutes and 25 seconds to get the 3 points for Georgia Southern, and it is a 12-9 game. When was the last time you and I sat here and it was 12-9 in the 3rd quarter?
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. And who would have thought that Georgia Southern was going to come in here and have all of those rushing yards those last 2 games we played them, and they just can't get it into the end zone so far.
Hogan and Boone back to receive the kick for New Mexico State. Tyler Bass does the kicking, or the kicking off. It's an onside kick. Look out. It is recovered by Georgia Southern. They caught the Aggies napping. I had a weird feeling about it, and it is Campbell who comes up with it for Georgia Southern. So the onside kick, a gutsy call
that is
by
gutsy.
Georgia Southern, and it pays off for Tyson Summers.
Yeah, so you just come up there and you see them just try to make a play, and I'm not sure who that was. They try to field the ball, and it just bounced off their shin.
It was, boy, I couldn't see who it was. but it really doesn't matter because
Number 32 on the kicking team was offside.
Oh,
5-yard
wow.
penalty.
that is the
Wow.
second big penalty on William Bussey Jr.
Yeah, that's tough right there.
Wow. So, kick it again. Take a look at it again, and we'll see where where it was. Yep, right down here on the bottom. Right down here on the bottom. I bet the Aggies will be looking for it this time.
Yeah, I think it might shore it up a little bit more. I don't think they'll do it again, of course, but now it's, man, that's just that's dodging a bullet right there.
Wow. All right, Boone Hogan back to receive for New Mexico State. That was a heck of an onside kick too. He got the action that he wanted out of it. They got the recovery. I'll kick it this time. Bounce it around down there. That's Hogan. Play it on a bounce and drop it and try to find it. And, well, that's almost better than an onside kick, isn't it? Are you kidding me? There's your onside kick. Bounce it around and watch Hogan drop it. And Georgia Southern has been given a gift. They get the ball at the 13-yard line. Boy, Doug Martin's got to be sick.
Oh, I'm not even sure what to say. I'm lost for words on that. This is one where you just got to go get the ball and fall on it for sure and not just let it bounce around in there. But he missed it. He just couldn't find it.
Boy, how about the coverage by Georgia Southern? And here they are knocking on the door again. Never mind your onside kick. How about that? How about your luck? You recover an onside kick and you feel horrible because you were offsides, and then you get that gift.
Oh.
What are they're replaying it. What are they going to replay? What are they going to look at? They got to look at who recovered it? So Jeff Hillier is going to go back underneath the headset and take a look at what they're looking at.
I'm not sure if they're just looking for where to place the ball or what's going on here. But here's the kick right here. So Hogan kind of
That's the thing when it hit his foot.
Yeah,
bounced
he just
away.
kicked it and then he just lost it and then just couldn't fall on it.
No, that's great coverage, and it looked like it was Chaz Thornton, number 43, that was down there to recover it, a redshirt junior.
Yeah, and Jonathan Boone's back there too, so this is one where Jonathan Boone has to help his partner out, and if he can't find the handle on it, he needs to get over there and fall on it as well.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what Jeff Hillier's looking for. Let's hear him.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
All right, so the Eagles are set up. There's 50 seconds to go in the quarter. They're knocking on the door to take the lead. 12-9, New Mexico State over Georgia Southern. That's Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator, trying to get another stop out of his defense. How much can you ask of him? Fifth trip into the red zone for Georgia Southern. Breida is the back along with Ellison at quarterback. Kevin's had a good day running the ball. Give us to Breida. Gets to the outside, and Rodney Butler chases him down and drops him for a 2-yard loss.
So come back to the pistol that they've got some positive yards in before. And the thing about the pistol, you get back there a little bit deeper, and Rodney Butler just drew radar lock on him and just came screaming out. You see Rodney Butler at the top of the screen just come flying in there to make that tackle.
Came from the weak side, too. Loss of, looks like 2. Second down, 12 for the Eagles. Time expiring here in the third quarter. Ellison keeps it, stumbles. Stody Bradley turns him inside, and he gets himself a few yards out of that thing, probably about 6 of them.
How did he sneak by so many defenders coming at him? It was just like a fish swimming upstream or something, because everyone came screaming by, and he just went the other way.
Stody Bradley did a good job, right? Defensive end, go upfield, make sure nothing gets outside of you. You turn him inside. That's what he did. And we're going to come back to a third down for Georgia Southern. We're going to the fourth quarter of a really interesting, fun football game. New Mexico State leads Georgia Southern 12-9. Fourth quarter is coming up on Aggie Vision. Quarter at Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces. New Mexico State holding on to a 12-9 lead over Georgia Southern in a bizarre football game, I'll tell you that.
Entertaining.
Yeah. Georgia Southern 314 total yards. The Aggies 333. None of that matters now. You got a third down and 6. Georgia Southern knocking on the door after an Aggie turnover on a kickoff. They can get a first down at the 3-yard line. Ellison with Breida off of his right hip. He's going to throw to Breida. Matt Breida's got a touchdown. Georgia Southern. 9 yards. Ellison to Breida. And Georgia Southern has taken the lead. Second receiving touchdown on the year for Breida. Ellison's 4th touchdown pass. And Georgia Southern is on top 15-12.
So they had him in his right, so the quick toss out there, and he just came in, but he was not going to be denied. Duck his shoulder and go.
Younghoe Koo on for the extra point. It is no good. Younghoe Koo with his first missed kick of the season. He was perfect on field goals and extra points. He misses that and it keeps it a field goal game, a 15-12 game. Wow, that's a stunner.
Yeah.
So 6 seconds into the 4th quarter.
Could be a break right there, right?
Well, I mean, it can't hide if you're New Mexico State.
Right.
So the Aggies turn the ball over on a just ridiculous. I don't. How else do you describe what happened on the kickoff? The ball bounced around. Hogan muffed it, and then it hit his foot,
and then just couldn't find the handle.
And they're going to change what they're doing, going back to receive kicks. It is no longer going to be Greg Hogan, but instead they'll bring out the freshman Jason Huntley to receive, along with Jonathan Boone. So a freshman and a sophomore back there as Doug Martin changes up what he's going to do to receive kicks. 3 plays, 13 yards, and 56 seconds on the scoring drive for Georgia Southern. It ends in a 9-yard touchdown reception. Ellison to Breida, and it's 15-12 Georgia Southern. Bass on, Tyler Bass does their kickoffs. That'll go through the end zone as Huntley watch it go over his head, and Doug Martin says, good, why didn't you do that last time, right? All right, the Aggies' second half drives, Danny. Field goal, missed field goal, fumble, and then they fumble the kickoff. Got to figure something out now, right?
Yeah, it's getting down to the wire here. It is 4th quarter.
15-12 Georgia Southern on the road. Man, what a road it's been for Georgia Southern. It'll be 40 days between home games for Georgia Southern. They don't get to play at Statesboro until Thursday night. After that, 4 games on the road in a row. They got to go play Thursday night against Appalachian State. Nowhere to go for Larry. A loss of a yard. Leakway's in there to lead the charge amongst other guys.
Yeah, it's tough. You want to still go back to the running game to get something going to set up the pass. But, now it feels like Georgia Southern is trying to impose a will on that front line up there.
So Rose stays in with Rogers, 2nd down, 11. Now motion him out of the backfield, so it's empty for Rogers. He's looking over the middle, and he's pressured, and he is dropped. Dropped for a sack. Ryan George there from the defensive end position. For Georgia Southern, it will be 3rd down and 11 for New Mexico State.
So nowhere to go with the ball, but more importantly, with a good push by the defensive line, Tyler just had to eat it and step up in the pocket there, and he just couldn't get it out.
3rd and long for New Mexico State, trailing by 3. Tyler with time, throws over the middle. It is caught for a 1st down. Jonathan Boone, Isaiah Lottie. Yeah, Isaiah Lottie on the reception.
Lottie just sure got down in a hurry on that then, right? So let's see how fast he can get rid of the ball because there's a big push, didn't hold it, but he gets that ball and gets down in a hurry. That's a nice deep little in route there.
Larry Rose for a yard.
Georgia Southern is flying to the ball on defense. That defensive line is really getting after it.
Desmond Candelaria coming off. His hat popped off. 2nd down and 9 for the Aggies. Larry Rose, 19 carries tonight, 79 yards for the wonderful junior. Now we got a stoppage. I'm not sure why.
Those are a tough 79 yards for Rose. Those were hard yards to come by tonight.
All right, wind it again and let's go. Rose stays in as the tailback. Rogers to throw. Dumps it to Larry. And he goes nowhere. nowhere to go at all. That is Joshua Moon charging from the safety position. He sniffed it out as soon as he saw Tyler look that way. He came
So
out of the
the defense is playing a little back a little bit and trying to keep the ball in front of them. So the one thing they don't want to happen is have anyone slip by them in the deep secondary. So they're playing a little deeper, trying to get the ball, keep it up front there, because you still got to get 11 yards.
3rd and 11 for the Aggies. They need midfield for a first down. Here come the Eagles. Rodgers in trouble, spins away, trying to buy time, gets away from another man, directing traffic, and now he is dropped. Ilikwe is there, finished him off. Tyler down, slow getting up. No, he did get up. All right, Ilikwe was the guy that led the charge, and there were a few other guys that got there, including Jamal Johnson.
Yeah, tough series right there. So, Jeff, here's my thoughts on a scrambling quarterback that's running around there. From a receiver standpoint, the receivers have to find a way to get open, right? So you got a quarterback that's scrambling for his life. You need to run around, do something, but get to the open ground and get your hands up.
Monte Crockett back to receive the punt for Georgia Southern. Peyton Theisler's kick is blocked. It is blocked. It's going to roll around, and I don't know why you're picking it up. Let it roll the other way. Wagner falls on it, did Robert Wagner, but it was blocked by Georgia Southern, and another special teams mistake by New Mexico State is going to put the ball in great position for Georgia Southern. I don't think Theisler took it. So illegal touching is the call. 40-yard line again. And this is where they started the last drive, right? For Georgia Southern.
Hey, that's tough. These special team mistakes have really, in, fourth quarter here, the late third quarter, it's just killing it.
Well,
killing the Aggies.
And they got away with one when Georgia Southern recovered the onside kick and they were offsides.
So here's the punt right here, and let's see where, got a hand up there and got on it.
38, is that what you saw? Yeah, Ja'Cory Belvin got through. You give it to Breida, breaks through some tackles and turns -2 into +2. That big running back's pretty good. Terrell Hanks finally brought him down, a gain of a couple. 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, good pursuit by the defense. Defense is still holding strong in there, fighting off that big offensive line and trying to really reduce the number of those first down yards.
Ellison, the quarterback. Breida, the running back. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the senior the rest of the way. Quarterback, huh? Especially with the lead, 15-12. He gives it to Breida. That's a big hole. Breida takes Rodney Butler to the ground with him. Rodney was there to wrap him up. Breida took it for another 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Big 3rd down right here. This is where you need that push. This is where you need to get back in the backfield.
I would guess
somehow.
This is 4 down territory.
Yeah.
That's just a guess. But we're never going to find out. Well, we might. Yeah, we will.
Oh, there's a flag
there's
right
a
there.
Flag down too.
So maybe get a hold or something.
It was Reese who was the first guy to get there. First time we called his name tonight. See where the flag is and what the call is. He was short of the first down. So without the flag, it's 4th and 2. Doug Martin saying push him back. So it's on Georgia Southern.
Holding, number 60 offense. Penalties 10 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
That's their senior center, Andy Kwan. So I think Doug Martin thought the same thing. They're going to go for it.
Yeah.
4th and 2.
Right.
Back him up and make it 3rd down and 12. Now you need to do something with the break you got if you're New Mexico State's defense.
Yeah.
Do they throw it here?
I think I'd come back to an option or something.
Fields is now the back. Breida goes to the sideline with Ellison. Ellison's going to throw. It's a screen pass. It's complete to Fields, and there is nobody between him and the goal line. Now there might be. Fields has scored a Georgia Southern touchdown. 42 yards, and there was nobody on this side of Doñana County. A great call.
Yeah, that's a great call. A little screen action there. So they're coming on a blitz. They're bringing everyone, and so you bring the house, you suck them in and dump it over top to Fields, and then let Fields just do the rest of the work.
Lomax tried to close. but he couldn't get there in time. I think they're checking this to confirm that he was in. He did not step out of bounds, and that's a touchdown. 40 yards, Ellison to Wesley Fields. Fields' third receiving touchdown of the season, and all of a sudden, Georgia Southern has control of this game.
You know, that really changes the complexion of the game. So now, from the Aggies' perspective, you got to come out here and just start throwing the ball and start collecting some points in a hurry.
Younghoe Koo's extra point is good, and it is now 22-12. So New Mexico State turns it over on a kickoff, has a punt blocked, and Georgia Southern has turned those into points, and they now have the lead. Those are the last two touchdowns for you. 10:21 to go, fourth quarter. Georgia Southern leads New Mexico State 22-12 on Aggie Vision. Probably pretty happy, huh? Last I saw, the Cubs were beating the Dodgers 5-0 in the ninth. Probably pretty happy about that. Maybe not so happy about this score here. Oh, he's happy, all right. Georgia Southern leads the Aggies 22-12 in the fourth quarter. New Mexico State Athletics would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, New Mexico's agricultural community, for their support of Aggie Athletics. Well, his team's going to the World Series, and looks like his date's going okay. Huh? He's pretty happy. All right, Tyler Bass to kick off again for Georgia Southern. Huntley and Boone back to receive for New Mexico State. Now you can find out a little bit what you're made of, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is where you got to come out and start collecting the points as fast as you can, and you're right. So
now there's time. I mean, there's 10:21 to go in the fourth quarter. You move the ball, you just haven't put it in the end zone. That's Huntley 5 yards deep. Going to take a knee and take it to 25. So Georgia Southern just went 40 yards in 3 plays. They capped it off with a 42-yard reception by Wesley Fields. It took them 1:23. How'd they go 42-yard touchdown and it was only 40 yards? Because they had a big penalty that backed them up.
You know, and both their recent scores here are coming off, turnovers. So you get a fumble on a kickoff, which I don't know how that happens, a partially blocked punt, and here we are.
I know there's not a gigantic crowd here, but there was a good feel in this place, and the air's been sucked out a little bit. Let's see if the Aggies can put something back into it. Play action to Rose. Rogers is going deep. He's got a man down there. It is incomplete. There's a flag. Looking for Boone, coming back on it.
And you know what? Boone got behind him too. So Boone was out there. So yeah, it was underthrown. So you go back for the ball, and when you go back for the ball and it's over the defender, they'll throw the flag.
Joshua Moon is the guy defending. Now it's not a spot play. It is. He put his arm out while he was in the air. It is interference. In a collegiate game, it's a 15-yard penalty, and so the Aggies will move it out to the 40-yard line. It's the right call. His left arm did go out and grab him, and he didn't look back. So Aggies get a break. Let's see what they can do with it. Tyler to throw again over the middle. It is caught by his tight end Granch, who's holding on with 2 hands and gains himself 16 yards. Ball's out, but they had already called forward progress and stopped. So a 16-yard gain to Clayton Granch and a first down to Mexico State.
Yeah, I think Granch did the right thing. Is once he got it and he was getting into a little trouble with Georgia Southern, is put 2 hands on the ball, and here we go.
And they're taught well. That's how the Hogan fumble happened. You had them held up, and they went in and stripped the ball. Larry Rose squirts through. He was going to be 1 yard. Now he might have lost one, and that's a heck of a play by Ironhead Gallen, charging to drop him for no gain.
Man, that's tough. That's tough working right there for Larry Rose. Ironhead Gallen just stayed with it and stayed with it.
Second down, 10 for the Aggies. I'll call it no gain. Rose stays in. They shuttle receivers in and out. Tyler straight drop. Here they come, and he stumbles and falls. It'll be a sack and a loss, and now is Tyler okay, I think is really the big question. Trey Griffin's going to get credit for the sack. Number 94 was the first guy there. A loss of a lot. A loss of 13 yards is going to set up third down and 23.
Yeah, that's hard. It's hard to look at your play sheet there for 3rd and 23 and just say, oh, I have one right here.
That's what Tyler was saying. Help me out. You throw one deep and hope for a flag. 4-man rush. He throws one deep. Hope for a flag, and he got one. Something else, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if his arm's around him, so let's see if we can get a look at what.
Well, I mean, something happened because Jonathan Boone's shoulder pads were off. I don't know if it's going to be a hold or if it's going to be interference. But, I mean, what do you do? Throw one deep and hope for it? That's what they did. We'll hear from your head referee, Jeff Hillier, and he'll tell you exactly what happened as they confer here. I think he's trying to get the number.
Holding number 5 defense. Penalty is 10 yards against an eligible receiver, therefore automatic first down.
Well, the Aggies get bailed out. Darius Jones, the senior cornerback, is the guilty party. So on 3rd and 23, that's what you get. And he keeps your drive alive. Big penalty on Georgia Southern.
Yeah, and so
look at the upper left corner.
You can see it right there on the jersey, pulling it and just kept hanging on to it.
Yeah.
And that'll do it.
That's 5 on 13, and Darius Jones got caught. So the Aggies have new life. First down at the 47-yard line. Xavier Hall's the setback. Fake to Hall. Tyler rolls the pocket, looking over the middle, and it is caught, I believe, by Scott for 5 yards. The first time they've targeted Jaleel Scott tonight. Good coverage.
Wow.
And a good throw.
I think they're saying it's incomplete.
Is that the call? The guy on the far side was saying complete. It is
that's
incomplete.
What it,
All right, so 2nd and 10. Aggies right back on it. Give us to Xavier Hall. The senior is loose, and he's got a first down. Another good route. Maybe not. He might be a yard short of the first down.
That's a tough one. I was thinking he needed to cut it up and start going north and south somewhere there as he gets closer to that first down marker.
So it'll be 3rd down and 1. Trey Griffin in on the tackle again for Georgia Southern. 3rd and 1 for the Aggies. You've got to believe this is four down territory. And they're going to need it because Larry didn't get there. A no game for Larry Rose the third. Now what does Doug Martin do? He's got to go for it, right?
Yeah, I think you do.
Under 8 minutes, you're down by 2 scores.
That's too bad right there. There's just good penetration in the front. I think they kind of know what's going to happen, and so you just, those defensive linemen are just getting lower than the offensive linemen and get that push in there.
Aggies were able to open up big holes early in the game. Let's see what they can do now. They need to get to the 37-yard line. It is 4th down and 1. First 4th down conversion try of the night for New Mexico State. Tyler's going to throw. He's going to tuck it and try to get loose, and he does. Rogers is out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. First down, New Mexico State, chased out of bounds by Joshua Moon.
Yeah, great decision by Tyler there because there's a lot going on, and as everyone was falling back into coverage, he sees that little lane in there, and he just went out there, and that shoe just won't stay tied.
Were you interested? Did the call surprise you to throw it? Because I don't know that it was a design run. Do you think?
I think it was probably a design run.
Rogers to throw, dumps it over the middle. It is caught by Taylor, Hogan, who fumbles it out of bounds. Let's see how they rule it. Hogan on the crossing pattern underneath. It was pretty good coverage again.
It was very good coverage on that. Not much you can do to dump it out in front there.
It is ruled a completed pass and then a fumble out of bounds, but it lost a yard. So it'll be 2nd down and 11 for New Mexico State as we tick under 7 minutes to go.
Georgia State's had some great coverage in the secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia Southern. Did I say State? Don't want to do that.
That's Larry. Down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 3. 3rd down and 7.
Those are hard yards in there. You keep talking about how good those linebackers, and they close in a hurry.
3rd down, 8. It's be interesting to see. I don't know if you're in field goal range, but you're down 10. 3rd down, the Aggies are 5 of 16 tonight. Tyler's going to throw. Over the middle, he's intercepted. Picked off by Georgia Southern. That is Moon on the interception, the first interception of the night by Rogers. Joshua Moon with his 2nd interception of the season.
So Joshua Moon's back there, and he sees Tyler the whole time. Tyler's looking at him. He's delivering it with his eyes. He sees where he wants to throw it, and he just throws it right to Moon, who's right there ready for it.
Well, Georgia Southern in great position now. They just turned the Aggies over, and they have a 10-point lead. 6 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. The Eagles have the lead, and they will have the ball when we come back. 22-12, Georgia Southern leads New Mexico State on Aggie Vision. Was at a Russian conference this past summer. The topic was about the protection and sustainable use of aquatic resources. For more information, visit news.nmsu.edu. Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening here in southern New Mexico in the Mesilla Valley. 22-12, Georgia Southern leads New Mexico State. Another turnover by the Aggies, the third for New Mexico State in the second half. Eagles have scored 9 points off of those Aggie turnovers, and they've got the ball and probably plan on salting this thing away with 6:18 to go. Let's see if the Aggies can come up with a stop and get the ball back to their offense. Ellison is in with Lambsby. L.A. Ramsby on the option. Ellison keeps it. Stody Bradley comes from the backside to drop him after a gain of 1 yard, and Ellison's slow getting up again. Boy, he's been beaten up today.
He has. You know, that defensive line has had a lot of good pushes up front there and a lot of good penetration that really slowed some of that offense.
Well, he's ran for 115 yards tonight. He's a pretty special kid. Second down for the Eagles. Flips it out to Ramsby. He leaps over Jaden Wright. I mean, flat out hurdled a man that I don't know had completely gone down.
So if you start feeling it and you can, it's like, I got it, and it's you get out there, so let's see what he does. Flips it out in a hurry there, and let's just see he comes up there, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, that's
right
good.
Over top.
L.A. Ramsby. You know, he was originally recruited to Georgia Southern as an option quarterback. He's turned into a pretty good running back in this system. They got a bunch of them, too. They look over to get the call. Now they move Ramsby to the left side. It is first down. Ellison keeps it, dives in for 3 on first down. Give him 2 yards. You know, in New Mexico, when you say Little Al, you think of Al Unser Jr.
Right.
The Unser family, of course, from Albuquerque. Al Unser Jr., 2-time Indy 500 winner. Now, L.A. stands for Little Al. His name is Alfred Ramsby Jr., and his dad, when he was young, was L.A. They called him Little Al. And so that's what the L.A. stands for in L.A. Ramsby. Nothing little about the way he's playing. He takes the pitch this time and runs straight into an Aggie defender. Who was that out there? It was a block. Oh, that's a heck of a play by Lomax.
That was Lomax,
yeah.
right. Lomax came flying in there. Lomax had a great game last week where he had 9.5 tackles. So, you know, he's...
Well, it's an imperative third down stop for New Mexico State. Absolutely imperative if they think they're going to win this game. They're down by 10. We're coming up on 4 minutes to go. It is third down and 10. Aggies have got to get off the field. They change quarterbacks as Georgia Southern. Seth Schumann comes in. He slings it pretty good. The freshman playing in his first collegiate game. Better hurry to get the play off. There's 3 on the play clock. He does get it off just in time. Throws, caught, first down, and that's going to put this thing away just about. Keegan Williams, his second catch of the season. No, not third, because that first one, the first one on the first series was ruled a catch.
Yep.
So his third catch of the season, and that's a good throw by that freshman.
Seth just delivered a strike on that one.
Yep. And they'll leave him in there now, probably to hand the ball off to L.A. Ramsby and salt this thing away. Big first down, big gain for the freshman, and they're going to say run that play clock down. Don't snap it until there's less than 2 seconds left. And we're coming to 10, and it's first down for the Georgia Southern Eagles. Trying to snap their 3-game losing streak, all on the road. Ramsby right up the middle, pushes the pile, gets himself 3 yards, hard-earned yards.
And you know, Jeff, the way things have turned for the Aggies here, I sure didn't see this the beginning first 3 quarters, and then it's just kind of the wheels just kind of fell off near the end here, and it just things got out of sorts.
Second down and 7. Probably going to run Ramsby again. He's their battering back, or the battering Ramsby if you prefer. Really, really good backs they've got. They're going to run this play clock all the way down, 7, 6, and 5. Schumann takes the ball. Safe pass, and boy, Butler came in.
Yeah, you know, if
Ramsby.
Butler had his head up, he might have been able to take that to
It's
to
an
the
odd
house
call.
there. Yeah.
That was an odd call right there as they're trying to milk this thing away, no? I mean, I know it's a safe pass. I understand that. And here's 3rd and 7. I mean, if last time was imperative to get off the field, I don't even know what this one is.
Yeah. It's double imperative.
All right, double imperative. 2 minutes, 33 seconds to go. Aggies still have 2 timeouts left if they can get the ball back. Trailing by 2 scores. By the way, how important is a missed field goal and a missed extra point right now? Just asking. Ramsby tackled by Butler. It'll be 4th and 5. The Aggies call a timeout. Georgia Southern, by the way, this 4-game road stretch, 40 days, Danny. 40 days between home games, which is going to be the 2nd longest in the FBS this year. Idaho's going to go 42. They go home, and after 4 games on the road, they go home and have to play Appalachian State on Thursday night.
Man, that makes it very tough.
Yeah. 2:19 to go, 4th quarter. Georgia Southern trying to get out of here with a win. They lead New Mexico State 22-12 on Aggie Vision. It's 19 seconds to go, 4th quarter here in Las Cruces. Georgia Southern leading New Mexico State 22-12. Jeff Sabieta along with Danny Nee. Georgia Southern 252 yards on the ground, outgaining the Aggies in that category 252-182. Danny, since they've turned to an FBS program, Georgia Southern is 21-4 when they outrush their opponents. They're outrushing New Mexico State tonight. 4th down and 5, they're going to go for it. They need the 28-yard line. The freshman, Seth Schumann, is the quarterback. The running back is L.A. Ramsby. Aggies have to have this stop if they have any chance to win the game. Schumann to throw. Going for it all. He's got B.J. Johnson. It is incomplete.
Wow, that's great defense.
Defended back there by Owens for New Mexico State. DeMarcus Owens played that pretty well. Now what do we got? There's a flag at the line of scrimmage. Aggies are walking off the field defensively as if it is on Georgia Southern. Of course they're going to decline. What do you think? Nah, let's give him another shot.
Personal foul, chop block, number 61 and 75 offense. The penalties declined. Result is first down.
Great defense by DeMarcus Owens on that. You see him get in there, get in position, and get that arm up there and knock that ball away.
All right, so here's your story. There's 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go. New Mexico State is down 2 scores. They have 1 timeout to go. They are 67 yards away from a touchdown. I don't know if they would take a field goal. They're going to need a field goal and a touchdown to tie. Let's see what they can do. Rose in with Rogers. Tyler rolls the pocket to the right. Throws. Incomplete, looking for Teron Taylor. Aggies want interference. They're not going to get it. Sean Freeman got there at about the same time as the ball did.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
So it'll be 2nd down, 10, New Mexico State. Freeman's played pretty well for a guy who's subbing. R.J. Murray is normally the guy who would be at that safety position. He's out with a knee injury, and Freeman's played well. Tyler steps up in the pocket, looking for something, throws over the middle. It's complete to Hogan. Greg dances around for a first down at the 45. The clock will stop while they move the chains. Aggies going to have to get on the ball. 1:56 to go. Clock is moving with 1:50 and counting. Rogers steps up, throws. Wide open man is O.J. Clark. Clark dances, hurdles, spins to the 32-yard line. First down, New Mexico State.
You know, so a lot of people watching saying, well, how come they couldn't do that all game, right? Well, part of it is because they're in a prevent defense where you got guys way deep.
23 yards on the gain. First down, New Mexico State. Rogers looking for it all, going to the end zone for Hogan, who falls down, then takes the man with him. Incomplete. Darius Jones defending on Greg Hogan. It'll be 2nd down. Hogan lost his footing, kind of fell into the defensive back. Jones saying, hey, where's the flag? You hit me earlier. Where's the flag this time? So the clock stops at $1:26, 2nd down for New Mexico State. What do you think of that new helmet logo this week? Rogers to the end zone. Got a man wide open. Touchdown, New Mexico State. Jonathan Boone. Third touchdown catch of the year for Boone. And the Aggies have tightened this thing up with 1:19 to go.
They did. There's a little more time on it, but he got 1:19. Boone just gets free there. It looks like broken coverage or something where You know, he's just kind of running around, and he sees him get up the sidelines. No one's standing there, and Tyler hits him.
Take a look at it one more time, and he was wide open.
So you see Tyler rolling out of there, and there's Boone. He just sneaks up the left sidelines. No one there. He got a safety that's deep that just couldn't get over to help.
33 yards, Boone from Rogers. It's a pretty big extra point if you think you're going to get the onside kick. Parker Davidson's missed one. This one's on the way, and it is good. So we got a 3-point game with a minute 19 to go. Ask again about the, well, never mind. 22-19, the Aggies march down the field. By far the best they've looked on offense in the second half. 5 plays, 67 yards in 53 seconds. Boone, 32 yards from Tyler Rogers. And now it's going to all come down to the onside kick because you only have 1 timeout left. So let's see what kind of onside kick. Look, if you can pull off a special teams play now after the way your special teams have let you down tonight, it would be pretty special, would it not?
Yeah, no doubt about it. The onside kick is hard, though. This is a tough one where you're certainly going to have the hands team out there for Georgia Southern. And this is one where you're going to practice many times. It's like, well, we're going to bounce it high and just everyone attack, or?
Yeah. Hey, with that touchdown pass, by the way, Tyler Rogers passed your buddy Jamie McAllister into 6th place on the Aggie all-time touchdown passing
So
list.
thank you for that. I talked with Jamie, and Jamie was saying that he hopes that Tyler enjoys his time in New Mexico State and Las Cruces like Jamie has, and he thinks that Tyler is doing a great job, and he wishes him the best. Jamie McAllister is a fantastic athlete and just a great person, so good luck to Tyler, and thanks, Jamie. Appreciate all the hours here.
Onside kick attempt. The ball is loose, and it is corralled by Georgia Southern, and they're going to put this thing away. That is number 11 for Georgia Southern, Malik Henry on the hands team to put that thing away. There's another milestone tonight for Tyler. Nope, he's 10 yards short of it. He needed 260 yards to pass Joe Pisarcik in the 3rd on the list for all-time yards. He'll need 10 next week, assuming the Aggies don't get the ball back. So the onside kick does not work for New Mexico State. Malik Henry puts it away for the Georgia Southern Eagles, and they're going to need to snap it probably 3 times with the 1 timeout. Get out of here with a win and snap their 3-game losing streak. For the Aggies, this one's going to be tough because you're going to look back at the video here, and you are going to kick yourself.
Yeah, they had chances. There's no doubt about it.
Ellison in the victory formation for the Georgia Southern Eagles. Aggies will burn the last time out at a minute 13. You know, when you look at this one, and look, there's been a lot of tough losses for New Mexico State as they're going to drop to 2 and 5. You look at some of them and you say, all right, how did that happen? This year, this is the one where you were leading in the second half, and you're going to look at 3 turnovers, a fumble when the guy was fighting for extra yards, a fumble off a muff kick and it was kicked around, and then the interception was probably a bad throw into coverage. And that's what's going to beat you up. And then you're going to also kick yourself about the points you did not score when you turned them over.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All of those things are true. And Jeff, even with those things going on, and up until the 3rd quarter, you were in this thing, and this is a game you should have won or could have won. And you're right. This is going to be a tough one for New Mexico State.
22-19. There's a minute 12. The Aggies cannot stop the clock again. Ellison in the victory formation. He'll take the knee and trip. They're going to have to snap it one more time. So the Aggies are going to fall to 2 and 5, 1 and 3 in the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern, coming off a bowl season last year where they won the GoDaddy Bowl, going to go to 4 and 3, 3 and 1 in Sun Belt play. They go home for a Thursday game against Appalachian State, who's really, really good, undefeated in this league. And the Aggies now are going to have a trip to Texas A&M next week to play a team who played Alabama today and was undefeated in the SEC going into today's game. That's going to be the last snap of it. Kevin Ellison looks up. Georgia Southern is going to wake up in the morning with a victory. 14 seconds and counting down. There's nothing the Aggies could do to stop the clock. There's Doug Martin just thinking about how did this one happen. Larry Rose the third. As we count down the clock stops at 12 seconds. Not sure why. Tyson Summers going, yeah, let that thing move. We're out of here. So the final score in Las Cruces, Georgia Southern beats New Mexico State. The final score 22-19. That man right there is going to just think of all the missed opportunities and mistakes that led to really just a crazy, crazy football game. Danny, it was a weird game.
It really was
a weird game with a weird field.
I certainly thought there was going to be more scoring early on, and it was just kind of not a lot happening. And defenses on both sides were just doing well, and then it just kind of exploded in the fourth quarter and got all of the breaks on the turnovers, and there you go.
All right, we'll come back and wrap this thing up for you. Tough enough to wear pink day and night in Las Cruces in the final score. Georgia Southern beats New Mexico State 22-19. Stay with us. We'll show you the highlights when we come back here on Aggie Vision. Welcome back to Las Cruces, where Georgia Southern has defeated New Mexico State 22-19 tonight in a very, very hard-fought Sun Belt Conference game. The Eagles snap a 3-game losing streak. The Aggies have now lost 2 in a row. Tickets to see new men's basketball head coach Paul Weir and the Aggies are on sale now. The back-to-back Western Athletic Conference regular season champions open the 16-17 home schedule on Friday, November 11th at 7 p.m. For more information or to purchase tickets, call the Pan Am Center ticket office, 575-646-1420. Tickets are also available at Ticketmaster.com. This is going to be a tough one for New Mexico State. Georgia Southern gets out of there. They're going to feel really good about themselves with that victory. The Aggies are going to be looking at themselves and just going, what happened? I'm not going to tell you they gifted it because Georgia Southern played really, really well, but a lot of missed opportunities for New Mexico State.
There was a lot of missed opportunities, and it came down to that second half, and they just couldn't hold it together. And the fourth quarter just got away from them, and then you just end up, here you are.
Well, here you are. New Mexico State now falls to 2-5, 1-3 in the Sun Belt. In a weird game tonight, weird low-scoring game. Here's how we got to where we are. Georgia Southern got into the red zone 3 times in the first quarter and only got 6 points out of it. One of the times they were stopped was on this interception by Jaden Wright.
Yeah, Jaden Wright steps in there and starts us off in the right direction, right? Picks one in the end zone.
6-0 Eagles here, and that's when New Mexico State got on the board. Tyler Rogers finds O.J. Clark, and it was 6-6 after the missed extra point.
So you're still in it. It's just a shootout.
Aggie defense had only sacked the opposing quarterback twice all season coming in. Cedric Wilcox gets to Ellison here for a sack to slow down the drive. And then it was Georgia Southern running the football, and they did it a lot. This is Fields, who had a really, really nice game running. Wesley Fields, 88 yards for him.
Yeah, Fields was just dynamite there. They had 3 running backs that really did well tonight.
More turnovers, and the Aggies turned them over a few times. Dalton Harrington with the interception there. But the Aggies couldn't score. It was 9-6 New Mexico State at halftime, and then the turnovers went the other way. This is Noah Brown. Look at the hit on Ellison.
Yeah, Ellison didn't see him coming. Noah Brown puts a hit on him, and you get a scoop and takes it down there. And
Portland Busby on the recovery, but the Aggies couldn't do anything with it. And then they turned it over themselves. Greg Hogan fighting for yards. The ball gets ripped out. Georgia Southern jumps on the football, and then they were able to score from there. And it was Breida taking the pass from Ellison, 9 yards. And that one really, really turned this thing around because that made it 15-12 after they missed the conversion. And then they do it again. That's an unbelievable play by L.A. Ramsby. Yeah. Just jumping over the defender. The Aggies did get another one late in the game. This is Tyler Rogers with a nice touchdown pass to Jonathan Boone, but they missed the onside kick and weren't able to do anything with it. 22-19 is the final score. Let's take a look at your Whataburger play of the game, and it happened for New Mexico State back in the first half, and it was Tyler Rogers throwing the football. Tyler had an interesting night throwing the football, but here he found a wide-open O.J. Clark. A pretty good call here.
Yeah, O.J. Clark gets to the back of the end zone and finds some room out there with no one standing around, gets in the open, and his little, hey, pass, I'm going to throw it out there. Just don't miss it because you're just so wide open. It was a great pitch and catch right there.
Aggies missed the extra point. It was 6-6. In fact, today New Mexico State missed a field goal and an extra point. They lose by 3. Take a look at the stats. Rushing yards. It was Georgia Southern. Aggies threw for 250 yards, a whole lot of offense in this game.
There was a whole lot of offense, and you see the turnovers there. There was 3 and 3, but the turnovers into the fourth quarter where you had a fumble on the kickoff, you had the partially blocked punt, you had an interception, and those are the ones that ultimately just put the dagger in our heart, Jeff.
Yeah, New Mexico State 3 turnovers, like you said, in the second half. It was the fumble, it was the muffed kick by Greg Hogan, then it hit his foot and kicked around, and that happened right after Georgia Southern had recovered an onside kick, which got turned back because they were offsides, and so kind of a crazy turn of events.
Crazy.
And it leads to a Georgia Southern 22-19 victory. The Aggies do what from now? You tell them what.
Well, here's what you got to do. You got to say, you got to go back to those 3 quarters where you had the game and you were dominant and you held a very good Georgia Southern team. And they were scared there, and you say, look, we got to remember those and build on that.
Next up, Aggies go play Texas A&M. They'll jump out of conference next week. Hey, join us for our next telecast Friday, November 11th, when your New Mexico State women's basketball team starts their season against San Jose State. Game coverage starts at 5:30 p.m. Check your local listings for channels in your area. Tonight's broadcast was a co-production of students and staff at New Mexico State University. On behalf of all the talented students on our crew and Danny Nee, my broadcast partner, I'm Jeff Symbieta, thanking you for joining us tonight. This telecast of New Mexico State Athletics is copyrighted by the Regents of New Mexico State University. Once again, the final score, Georgia Southern beats New Mexico State 22-19. Good night from Las Cruces.